this, Raymond decides to give their relationship a second chance. And Raymond tries to step up, be a good boyfriend, prepare to be a good father, and everything. But does Liz do the same? Oh no. Because whilst she is pregnant, let that sink in, whilst she is pregnant, she goes out and finds herself another boyfriend. Now, this new boyfriend was 21-year-old Glenn, and she moves him in to where she's living. Now, she's not currently living with Raymond, so when Raymond finds out that Glenn is living with her, he's like, what the hell? What is going on? And Liz just says, oh, this is my new roommate, Glenn. And Raymond could see straight through Liz. He could see that there was clearly something more going on between the two, but he just kind of put up with it because she was pregnant with his child and he wanted to stick around. So Liz now just goes between the two of them. So when Liz eventually gives birth, she names her son Cody, and her new boyfriend Glenn, not the father of the baby, essentially becomes the full-time babysitter. And Glenn's family, just like Raymond's family, they don't like this because they can see that Liz is taking advantage of their son. Because Glenn was very vulnerable, he had learning difficulties, and he was very easily taken advantage of. And this is exactly what Liz was doing. So a few months go by, and Liz is still just taking advantage of everyone. And then something very, very significant happens because Cody was now 5 months old. And remember that Glenn pretty much is the full time babysitter. So Glenn was looking after Cody. Glenn was also with his mom. And on this occasion, when they're babysitting, Cody is being very fussy. He's not being his normal self. And when Glenn's mom went to check on Cody, she noticed that he wasn't breathing. So they instantly rushed Cody to the hospital. And very sadly, when Cody arrived at the hospital, he was pronounced dead, which is, oh my god, horrific. And the cause of death was determined to be shaken baby syndrome. So somebody had killed Cody, whether accidentally or intentionally. Someone was responsible for this. Now, the police initially went to Glenn because he was the one looking after Cody last. And the police were grilling Glenn. They were like, did you shake the baby? What did you do? And Glenn, to all of these answers, was like, no, I didn't shake Cody. I play with Cody. I throw him up in the air a couple of times and then catch him, but that's all I do. But remember that Glenn is very vulnerable, he is very easily manipulated, and the police managed to convince Glenn that Glenn had killed Cody, and they convinced Glenn to make a full confession, confessing to the murder, and he was charged with second degree murder. Now, everybody else that was around knew that Glenn hadn't done this. They were all convinced that Liz had done this. On the morning before Cody died, Liz admitted to dropping Cody. Or did she do something else? And she just tried to say that she dropped Cody as a cover. Did she actually shake Cody? Because the injuries that Cody had couldn't have come from Glenn playing with him. And Liz, oh my gosh, she didn't even grieve for her own child. When it came to Cody's funeral, she was seen laughing, joking about. And it's like, are you being serious right now? You are at the funeral for your own child and you are laughing and joking and flirting around. So Glenn is being held in jail awaiting trial. So then his trial eventually comes around about a year later. And who was the sole witness against Glenn? You guessed it. It was Liz. Liz took a stand in that trial and completely destroyed Glenn's character. But then she had a smoking gun. She pulled out letters that Glenn and her had exchanged over that year he was awaiting trial. And in these letters, Glenn had pretty much confessed to the murder. Now, these letters, were they real? Because Glenn claimed that he didn't write these letters. He didn't confess to the murder because he hadn't committed the murder. Everyone believes that Liz was responsible for her own child's death and she forged those letters so she could get away with murder and pin it on Glenn. And these letters were pretty much the key thing that convicted Glenn. The jury, after hearing these letters, after seeing Liz's testimony, they were like, he's guilty. And in the end, Glenn was sentenced to 8 to 25 years in prison, which is heartbreaking that an innocent person has been sent to prison when it's pretty clear to everybody that Liz was behind all of this. So following the trial, Liz moves to Omaha in Nebraska. I think Liz realised that the people in her hometown couldn't stand her, so she moved away. Now, at this point in her life, Liz turned into a complete party animal. She was going out drinking all the time. She wasn't really taking care of herself. She dated a series of men. She also fell pregnant again and had another child until she finally gets into a pretty serious relationship with a man called Duh. Now, when she meets Duh, she becomes infatuated with him. And I mean infatuated, obsessed. She was very clingy, so bloody clingy, and the couple soon had a child together. Now, after being together for quite a while, Duh gets completely tired of Liz. It just feels like the same story, doesn't it? She becomes obsessed with people, she manipulates them, she's very clingy, obsessive, jealous, and the partner always gets fed up with her. So that is exactly what's happened here. So Duh does end up leaving Liz, and he gets into a relationship with another woman called Melissa. And did Liz take this very well? No. Following the breakup, Liz turned into a super creepy stalker. But it wasn't Duh that she stalked. It was his new girlfriend, Melissa. She became so obsessed with Melissa, stalking everything that she did. She wanted to know everything about Melissa. She would turn up outside of her apartment. She would key her car. She somehow got her number and started texting her. She was sending Melissa explicit photos of herself and Duh to Melissa. She's creepy as hell, okay? She also sent Melissa a box of cookies that Melissa and Duh were convinced that she had poisoned, so they threw the cookies away, which I don't blame them. And it wasn't long until Liz tried to become Melissa. And I truly mean she tried to become her. She bought some hair extensions, she changed up her hair and everything. She bought the exact same car as Melissa. She also started to train as a pharmacy tech, which was the exact same profession as Melissa. But the creepiest thing is that she actually started to introduce herself to others as Melissa. Yeah, she was going around telling people that her name was Melissa. And this went on for 5 years. 5 years she is stalking and harassing Melissa and also Duh. Melissa and Duh, in that 5 years, they did get married. It was a very serious relationship, but eventually their relationship broke down and they got a divorce. And I wouldn't be surprised if their relationship broke down because of Liz. And as soon as the couple got divorced, the stalking, the harassing stopped. Just like that. Liz had basically dedicated her whole life for 5 years torturing and harassing Melissa and Duh. So now we skip forward to 2012. I know it feels like we are going at 100 miles an hour, but there is so much that happens in this case. So in 2012, Liz is now 37 years old. She's still living in Omaha with her two children, and in 2012, this is pretty much when the crazy events of today's case begin, which is crazy to say because we have already covered so much craziness already. So in those few years, Liz had dated various men, all of which she met through various dating sites. And she is currently dating a man called Garrett. Now their relationship had been on and off for around 2 years, but at this point they were committed to one another, at least that's what Garrett thought. But Liz did not see it like that. Oh no! She was like, I want multiple boyfriends at the same time. Garrett was basically her safety net. She used and abused him, and he was her safe option. And in 2012, Liz went back to various dating sites to date other men behind Garrett's back. And this is when Liz went on the dating site Plenty of Fish, and she met 35-year-old Dave Kruger, who is a very significant character in today's case. Now, Dave was currently working as a mechanic, and he had recently moved to Omaha after the breakdown of his 12-year relationship with Amy Laura, who he also had 2 children with. The relationship between Dave and Amy was very serious. Obviously, they were together for 12 years, had 2 children, and Amy wanted to get married. And even though they had been together for so long, they had children, Dave didn't want to get married. Dave just kept saying no, and this eventually led to the breakdown of the relationship. And this is when Dave starts joining dating sites to get back out there, and this is when he met Liz Golia. So Dave and Liz, they go out on their first date, and Dave makes it very clear from the very first date that he doesn't want anything serious. He doesn't want to be in a committed relationship. He just wants something casual. And Liz, when she heard this, she was like, great, me too. Don't forget though that Liz is already supposed to be in a committed relationship with Garrett. Yeah, don't forget that she already has another boyfriend. I personally think she just wanted to say, yeah, let's keep it casual to get her hooks into Dave, reel him in, and then pretty much have him. Because over the next few weeks, they did go on quite a few dates, and Liz would not leave Dave alone. She was obsessed. She became so obsessed with him. She wanted to be with him all of the time. She became very clingy again. And Dave was going on dates with other women. He was having casual relationships with quite a few women. And when Liz found out about this, oh God, it did not go down well. Whenever Dave would have a date, Liz would always show up at his apartment just before he was about to leave on his date. She would go over to his apartment, try to seduce him, and try to lure him back to her so he didn't go on his other date. Liz was also insanely jealous of Amy, Dave's ex, the mother of his children, because Dave obviously kept a relationship with Amy because they had children together. And Dave would go over and see his children, but Liz would be like, why are you going over there? She would always accuse Dave, oh, you're just going over there to see Amy. You're back with Amy, aren't you? And no matter how many times Dave would say to her, no, I have just gone over there to see my own children, she wouldn't believe him. And also, no matter how many times Dave would tell Liz that he did not want a committed relationship, she wouldn't listen. Dave would say, Liz, this is a casual relationship. Go out, find some other men, go date them as well as me. That was supposed to be the agreement. And eventually she broke Dave down so much that Dave was just sick and tired, and he was like, fine, let's give this committed thing a go. I'll give you 1 month. I'll be committed to you for 1 month. However, it was in this month that Dave met another woman called Carrie Farmer. And the combination of Liz, Dave, and Carrie would change everything. Carrie was currently 37 years old. She was a single mom to her 14-year-old son called Max, and she was living in the small town of Macedonia in Iowa. Now, growing up, Carrie was described as very intelligent. She was placed in the gifted program at school, and after leaving school, she went on to study at the University of Kansas. Following her studies, she got into a relationship and had her son Max, but the relationship didn't work out, and she soon found herself as a single mom. However, Carrie dedicated her life to her son Max. Max was her whole world, and Carrie did have some struggles in life, finding herself as a single mom, as quite a young single mom as well. She did struggle. She did go through periods of depression, and she was also diagnosed with bipolar disorder. But she was on vacation, she had everything under control. So she did have a couple of struggles, but overall she was really happy and she loved her life. And in 2012, Carrie was working as a computer programmer, which was her dream job, and she was currently working in Omaha, Nebraska, which was quite a far commute from where she lived. It was about an hour commute in the car, and she was having car trouble one day, so she stopped off to get someone to look at her car. And this is when she met mechanic Dave Kruger. Now, Dave, he was dating quite a few women, but all of those women he had met online. But Carrie was the first woman that he had met in person and instantly had an interest in her. Dave has said that there was just an instant connection between him and Carrie. And later on that day, Dave realized that Carrie had a profile on Plenty of Fish, which was the dating site that he was using, so he asked her out. So now we get to the 29th of October 2012. And this is when Dave and Carrie go on their first date. Go to Applebee's, they're having a great time. When all of a sudden, Dave's phone starts blowing up with text messages. And who is messaging him? Liz. Liz starts saying in the messages that she needs to go over to Dave's apartment immediately. She's left something there and so important she needs it right now. And Dave responds and says, I'm out on a date. I can't really go back to my apartment right now. So then eventually at the end of the date, Carrie goes back to Dave's apartment. So Dave and Carrie get in his apartment and then all of a sudden somebody is at the door banging. And who is banging on the door? Of course, it's Liz. She was not about to let this drop. But when Dave is talking to Liz at the door, Liz bursts out crying. Liz starts saying that she doesn't like seeing Dave with another woman. She's really upset. She's getting really emotional. She's blowing this way out of proportion. And in the end, Carrie decided that it was probably the best idea if she just left Dave to deal with this on his own without her being there. So Carrie left the apartment and she passes Liz in the corridor. Now the two of them, they don't even speak. They literally just pass each other in a corridor. Literally, they look at each other. The encounter was probably about 2 seconds long, and that was it. However, that chance encounter would have a significant effect on everyone's lives for years to come. So Dave basically says that he doesn't want anything to do with Liz anymore. She's taking it too far, and he wants to focus on Carrie. I don't think he was being exclusive with Carrie, but he wanted to focus on Carrie. And over the next 2 weeks, Dave and Carrie have quite a few dates. They're having a great time. And Carrie has started to visit Dave at his apartment pretty much every day after work because his apartment was on her way home. And Carrie had a big project coming up at work, and she was working longer hours than normal. And if you remember, Carrie's commute is about an hour. And Dave said that whilst she has this project going on, she can stay at his apartment to save her that commute. She arranges for her mom to look after her son Max, and that's what she plans to do, stay at Dave's apartment whilst this project is going on. Now, just before this week where the project is taking place, a few strange things happen. Carrie started to get multiple friend requests on Facebook from people she had never met before. Dave was also being bombarded with text messages from Liz, even though he had told her that he didn't want anything to do with her anymore. But because Liz was so clingy, the text messages didn't seem too weird to Dave. And then, all of a sudden, Carrie's car got vandalized. Somebody said they were quite honest. And Carrie didn't have a clue who had done this. She just thought it was a random attack. So now that week is coming up where she has that project coming on and she's getting all ready to stay in Dave's apartment. And she turns up at Dave's apartment on Monday, the 12th of November, all ready to stay there for the week. Carrie stays the night on Monday, then the next morning she gets up pretty early to start work on her project. She logs into Facebook at 6:41 a.m. Dave is also up, he gets ready, he goes off to work, he kisses Carrie goodbye just before he leaves. Carrie then logs out of her Facebook account and started to make her way to work. But it turns out she never arrived at work. Now, Carrie was always punctual. She was never late to work, but she didn't show up to work. She didn't even call in and say that there was an emergency somewhere or something.
Okay, man.
No one knew where Carrie was.
Ugh.
What was even stranger is that Dave, he is at
Uh,
work later on that morning. He receives a text from Carrie, and in that text, Carrie says, "I think we should move in together." And Dave was really taken aback by this message. He was like, whoa, what the hell is going on? Where did this come from? He thought that Carrie was on the same page as him. And he responded, I don't think that that would be a good idea. And then literally within a minute or two, Carrie messages back and says, "Fine, screw you. I found someone else and I'm dating them instead. Don't ever contact me again." And from this moment, Dave would actually never see Carrie again. However, that wasn't the end of it. Oh no, the nightmare was only just beginning. After Dave had received that very strange message from Carrie, he also noticed that she had unfriended him on Facebook. And when he got home that night, she wasn't there. all of her belongings were gone. And remember, she was supposed to stay with him for that week. But what was weird is that Carrie hadn't returned to her home in Macedonia either. And remember, she has a son. None of this made any sense. And what was really, really strange is that from this day forward, Dave would constantly receive messages from Carrie. Every single day she would text him, every single day she would email him. And these messages were full of insults. She would call Dave every name under the sun. She would constantly put down the other women that he was dating, calling them whores, calling them various other names. But there was one woman in particular that Carrie focused all of her anger on, and that was Liz. In the messages today, she would say, Liz is a whore. Why are you dating Liz? It seemed like Carrie had an obsession with Liz. She also threatened Dave that he needed to stay away from Liz. And Dave was thinking, what the hell is going on? Dave only dated Carrie for about 2 weeks. Why all of a sudden was she so obsessed with him? And also, why was she obsessed with Liz? Carrie and Liz had only met once, and that meeting literally lasted for 2 seconds. Where the hell has all of this come from? So 10 days go by and things are still just as strange, if not stranger. Carrie still hasn't been seen by anybody. However, Carrie is messaging everybody. Carrie is messaging Dave. She is messaging her mom, Nancy. And Nancy is becoming really concerned about her daughter because Carrie hadn't come home. She hadn't come home to see her son, which just wasn't like her. And Nancy was also really concerned about Carrie because she hadn't heard her voice. The only communication that Nancy had had with her daughter was over text. And in the messages that Carrie sent to her mom, Carrie said that she was moving to Kansas because she had found a job. So Nancy talked to Max about this and said, why does your mom want to move to Kansas? What is all of this about? And Max actually did say, oh, mom was looking at a job in Kansas. Maybe she got it after all. So this made Nancy feel a little bit more reassured, but she was still like, this is weird. This is so weird. The messages that Carrie was sending as well, they didn't sound like Carrie. And Nancy knows her daughter. She speaks to her daughter every day. They always exchange messages. And in the messages, there are so many spelling mistakes and grammar mistakes. Carrie didn't spell things incorrectly. She was the stickler for grammar. Nancy was convinced that whoever was messaging her was not her daughter. So after 10 days of being off the radar, Nancy finally reports her daughter missing to the police. Now the police, after they get the missing person report, they immediately went to speak to Dave. He's the last person to see Carrie in person. And Dave was like, what do you mean she's missing? She's been messaging me multiple times every day. She's harassing me. She's stalking me. She's threatening me. You need to do something about this. She's not a missing person. She is harassing me. But things escalate even more because remember, Carrie seems to all of a sudden be obsessed with Liz. Well, Dave now receives a message from Liz, and Liz tells Dave that Carrie is now stalking her as well. Somehow, Carrie has gotten hold of Liz's phone number and is messaging Liz all of the time, just like she is Dave, throwing insults at her, threatening her, telling Liz, stay away from my man or else. Carrie also said that if Liz didn't stay away from her man, she would harm Liz and her kids. And all of this is just really strange because Carrie had only met Liz in a hallway for 2 seconds. Why is she now threatening to harm Liz's kids over meeting her for 2 seconds? It doesn't make sense. However, it still escalates because one morning Liz woke up. She went to her garage and on the wall in spray paint were the words "Call from Dave." And Liz knew exactly who had written those words. It wasn't Dave, it was Carrie because Carrie was stalking her. Carrie was harassing her. So Liz reported this straight to the police. And Dave was feeling so guilty about all of this because ultimately he had brought Carrie into their lives. And he felt responsible and he said to Liz, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I have dragged you into this. And the two of them instantly bond again over the shared stalking that they are going through. And the two of them basically end up together in a relationship again, which is very convenient, isn't it, for Liz? Because that's what Liz wants. More weeks go by, and the stalking, harassing, everything escalates again. Carrie is still nowhere to be seen, but Dave is now receiving at least 60 texts a day and over 100 emails a day from Carrie. I can't even imagine receiving that many text messages and that many emails every day. And Dave would change his number, but Carrie would always track it down. She would always find it. And the messages that Carrie was sending Dave said things like, I hate you, you've ruined my life. I want to drive a knife through your heart. My favourite thing to do is sit and watch you. And she would text Dave, oh, I can see you. You have your feet up and you're wearing a blue shirt. And of course, this was true. When Dave received this message, he was sitting in a chair with his feet up, wearing a blue shirt. So Dave was genuinely terrified. He was like, oh my God, Carrie really is watching me. Liz also was receiving so many text messages and so many emails every single day. And her messages were saying things like, keep your hands off my man, keep your lips off my man, don't go near Dave or I'll hurt you, maybe do us all a favour and kill yourself. There would even be times when Liz and Dave were on a date, they were sat in Dave's apartment, and both of their phones would blow up with messages at the same time. Both of them were receiving threatening messages, and this really bonded them together. They were bonding over the fact that Carrie was stalking both of them, threatening them. But on top of all of this, and this is just sick, Carrie had created an obituary for Liz and sent Liz the link to the obituary. And in the obituary, it said, I didn't know her very well, except that she was a whore and a man stealer. Thank God she's gone. And this is when Dave and Liz thought, oh my God, this is getting out of hand now. And they both go to the police. But the police, they took the allegations seriously, but no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't track down Carrie. They didn't know where she was. But whenever the police tried to track and trace Carrie's cell phone, the location was being scrambled, and they assumed because Carrie was a computer programmer, she knew how to cover her tracks and she knew how to get her cell phone to ping off multiple cell towers at the same time and not give her true location. So weeks turned into months, and Carrie's family are so worried about Carrie because they hadn't seen her. And as well, Carrie had started to miss some pretty significant events in the family. She didn't come home for her own birthday. She didn't come home for her son's birthday. And you've got to remember that Max is Carrie's whole world. Why would she not come home for his birthday? She missed her best friend's baby shower that she was supposed to plan, and she also missed her brother's wedding. And Carrie's mom, Nancy, kept texting Carrie saying, please phone me, please tell me what is going on. And Carrie would just respond, leave me alone. All Nancy wanted was to hear her daughter's voice because Nancy deep down didn't believe that whoever this person was messaging was her daughter. She just wanted to hear her voice. But not just that, to make things even worse, Carrie's dad had cancer and he was incredibly sick, and Carrie knew this because she looked after him, she visited him all the time, but his condition had deteriorated so much that he passed away, and Carrie never came home for his funeral, and this just broke Carrie's mom Nancy. So Nancy went to the police again and she demanded that they find her daughter. At this point, the police had learned that Carrie had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So, in response to Nancy reporting her daughter missing again, they just said that she's probably off her medication, she's probably had a psychotic break, and she has run off on her own free will. Case closed. They heard that she had bipolar and was like, well, that's the reason. That is the reason why she's acting like this. She's run off And it's like, are you being serious? Are you being serious? Nancy, understandably, was furious about this because that wasn't like Carrie. She had never done anything like that before. Yes, she had bipolar, but that doesn't mean that she's going to act in the way that she has. Nancy was still convinced that whoever was messaging her on Facebook, whoever was texting her, was an imposter. I mean, why else would Carrie not want her mom to hear her voice? Carrie's son, Max, messaged his mom on Facebook and just wrote the words, hi. Now, Carrie instantly messaged back and said, hi, little man, how are you doing? Which was incredibly strange because Carrie had never called her son little man before. So Max replied with three questions. He said, what is my middle name? What was the name of our first boxer dog? And what is the name of my best friend? His mom would know the answers to those questions. So after he sent those questions, did Carrie respond? No. So Max was like, yeah, whoever this is, that's not my mom. But unfortunately, the police wouldn't listen to the family. It really was as soon as they found out that she had been diagnosed with bipolar, they stopped the investigation. So the months roll by, and Dave and Liz are still seeing each other because remember, they have bonded over the stalking, which is still going on, by the way. Carrie is still stalking and harassing Dave and Liz. But as the months go by, Dave starts to pull away from Liz. He wants to end the relationship again because Liz is pretty intense. She's very clingy, she's very possessive. So Dave told Liz that he wanted to basically break it off. But whenever Dave would say things like this to Liz, something strange would happen. The abuse from Carrie got worse. Yes, whenever Dave tried to break off the relationship that he had with Liz, tried to put some distance between himself and Liz, all of a sudden Dave and Liz would be bombarded with abusive messages from Carrie. Like one time, Dave broke it off with Liz, and then he started to get loads of messages from Carrie saying that she was pregnant with his child, which Dave obviously knew wasn't true, but it still freaked out Dave, and he went running back to Liz. There was another time when he broke it off with Liz again, and then Carrie started posting messages all over Facebook that Dave had proposed to her, and Carrie was posting photos of her hand with a ring on it. Just want to add that the hand, Carrie's hand, looks nothing like Carrie's hand, but still, this freaked Dave out. So he went running back to Liz because Liz was the only one that understood the abuse and the harassment. There was another time when Dave broke up with Liz. There's a pattern here, isn't there? Dave breaks up with Liz a lot. So there was another time where Dave broke it off with Liz, and Dave was sent a photo from Carrie, and the photo showed a woman with dark hair tied up in the boot of a car with duct tape over her mouth. And with the picture was the caption, look, I have Liz tied up in my car and I'm going to kill her. Now, Dave went into full panic mode because he doesn't know what Carrie is capable of. And the woman in the photo looked like Liz. So Dave panicked, phoned Liz and said, are you okay? Are you safe? And Liz was like, yeah, I'm safe. Why? What's wrong? So Dave was like, oh, it's Carrie again. She's just sent me a photo of a woman that looks like you tied up in her car. So after this little photo incident, Dave runs back to Liz and rekindles the relationship. But these strange incidences wouldn't just happen when Dave tried to break it off with Liz. They would also happen when Dave would date or speak to another woman. For example, one time Dave got a friend request from a woman and he started chatting to her. And then 1 hour after accepting that friend request from the woman, he received a ton of abusive messages from Carrie. But not just that, Carrie was also sending abusive messages to the woman that he had literally just started speaking to. Carrie was trying to scare off any other woman from going near her man. And this would happen on dating sites as well. Whenever Dave would try and set up a date with another woman, Carrie would send abusive messages to that woman to scare her off. There was one time when Carrie sent a random woman a message saying that she was going to slit her kid's throat. And this just kept happening over and over again. The stalking and harassment would escalate every time Dave would either break up with Liz or or if Dave would try and date another woman. And every time, Dave and Liz would always end up back together. Very, very convenient. So we now get to early 2013. Carrie has been missing for a few months now, and this is when a few significant things happen. First of all, Carrie's car is located, and Carrie's car turns up outside of Dave's apartment. Dave reported this to the police because obviously this freaked him out. So the police get the car, they search it, but they don't really find anything. The only thing they find is a mysterious fingerprint, and they don't know who this fingerprint belongs to because it doesn't belong to Carrie and it doesn't belong to anybody on their database. There is also no CCTV to show how the car even got outside of Dave's apartment, so they literally learn nothing about why Carrie's car's there. Nothing. And then Nancy, Carrie's mom, receives a strange message from Carrie which says that she has sold all of her furniture in her home and she sends over a picture of a check that she wants her mom to cash. And this check is signed by a woman called Shanna Golia. And if you remember, this is Lizzie's real name, Shanna Elizabeth Golia. And then all of a sudden, Nancy receives a phone call from somebody with a very deep, distorted voice who claims to be Dave. And they phone up Nancy and they say, I know where Carrie is. She's in a homeless shelter. She's so worried about her. She's like, oh my God, what has happened? Why has she ended up in a homeless shelter? But when Nancy gets to the shelter, her daughter Carrie is not there. And Nancy is like, what the hell is going on? Who the hell is this Shanna that's wrote out this check? And who the hell is phoning me, pretending to be Dave, saying that they know where my daughter is? So if you think things have been crazy so far in this case, they're about to get even crazier. Because in the summer of 2013, 9 months after Carrie has first disappeared, things are about to take a very dramatic turn. At this point, Liz and Dave had their biggest breakup so far. And we all know what happens when Liz and Dave break up. So-called Carrie does something extreme. And you guys are not going to be prepared for what is about to happen. This would be Carrie's craziest act so far. Because on the 17th of August 2013, Liz calls up emergency services and says that her house is on fire. Yeah, her whole house, Liz's whole house is on fire. It was fully ablaze, it was out of control. I am talking the whole house engulfed in flames. Thankfully, Liz and her 2 children were not in the house. However, Liz's 4 pets were inside the house, and her 4 pets lost their lives. She had 2 dogs, a cat, and a snake that all suffocated in the house fire. And of course, Liz reports the house fire to the police. And she says that she knows exactly who is responsible for the house fire, and that is Carrie. Carrie had reportedly sent Liz an email the day before the fire saying, I'm going to burn your house down whilst you and your kids are inside. And Liz was beside herself. She was so terrified because her house had been burnt down. She had lost her pets, all of her belongings, and she was so scared. So she went running back to Dave, who of course accepted her with open arms because he felt so guilty. So Dave and Liz rekindle their love. Again, very convenient. And Dave, by the way, he is a nervous wreck at this point. He is so terrified about what has happened to Liz because he's so terrified that Carrie is going to burn down his apartment. He starts drinking very heavily. He buys himself a gun for protection. And the police do confirm that the house fire, Liz's house fire, was indeed arson. And obviously, the number 1 suspect was Carrie. But again, still, nobody knew where she was. And you might be thinking, oh my God, this has escalated. Carrie has gone from sending a few threatening, nasty messages to now burning a house down. Why does Carrie have it out so much for Liz, a woman that she literally met for 2 seconds? Well, this is where the big plot twist comes in. Some of you may have clocked on to what is actually going on because I feel like I've been pretty obvious throughout this whole video. But for those of you that are very confused right now, because this is a very confusing case,
You are confused.
actually reveal what is going on. Because it wasn't Harry that started the house fire. Oh no, no. It was Liz. Liz started the house fire on her own house. Liz killed her own pets. She set her house on fire knowing full well that her animals were inside that house. And it's like, why the hell would Liz set her own house on fire? And that is because Liz is actually Carrie. Yeah, yeah, Liz. Liz. This is all Liz. This is all Liz. From the moment that Carrie went missing, Liz has been pretending to be Carrie. And I'm sure most of you probably figured that out. So it was Liz sending the threatening messages to herself and Dave. It was Liz communicating with Carrie's mom, Nancy. It was Liz that was sending the Facebook messages to Carrie's son, Max. It was Liz that created the obituary for herself. Remember that picture of the woman tied up in the trunk? That was actually Liz. Liz tied herself up, put herself in the trunk, and then took a picture of herself tied up in the trunk. What the hell? What the actual hell? Everything that I have said, oh, Carrie did this, Carrie did that, Carrie didn't do any of it. It was Liz. That is why every time Liz and Dave broke up, Carrie would send some messages and force them back together because it was Liz. That is how Carrie always knew what Dave's new number was because it was Liz. It was literally Liz's full time job pretending to be Carrie. And I'm not joking there. She was spending 40 to 50 hours a week sending all of these messages and emails. Oh, and it was Liz that called up Nancy with a voice distorter pretending to be Dave and saying, oh, your daughter's in the homeless shelter. Yeah, it was Liz, that's sick and twisted. And she wanted to make sure that Dave never suspected that it was her sending all of these messages. So remember I said that there would be quite often times where Liz and Dave would be together and they would both receive messages at the same time from Harry. So because Dave was with Liz, he would never suspect that it was Liz actually sending those messages. And it was because Liz was using software where she was able to write the message and it would send at a particular time. And her whole goal was to keep Dave. This was one big game to her. It was one big obsession. And this, the whole crazy Carrie, because that's what Dave and Liz used to call her, crazy Carrie. Crazy Carrie was pretty much the only thing that Dave and Liz bonded over. And I know you're probably thinking, where's Carrie? What happened to her? Well, everything is soon about to be revealed. But before we get to that, there are so many more crazy things that happen. So following the house fire, Liz needed somewhere to live because obviously she burnt her own house down. She rekindles her relationship with Dave, but Dave still doesn't want Liz to live with him. So who does she turn to? Garrett. And I bet you've forgotten who Garrett is. Well, remember that this is Liz's boyfriend. Yeah, it's really easy to forget that she has a boyfriend. She has been with Garrett for about 3 years at this point, and Garrett, this whole time, doesn't have a clue about Carrie, about Dave, about anything going on. In his mind, he has been in a very committed relationship with Liz. It's just crazy. This story, honestly, is crazy. So she turns to Garrett, who, because he is her boyfriend, when she asks him if she can move in with him, of course he says yes. And Garrett, I think, is over the moon because he's in love with Liz and he really cares for her children. However, Liz did not feel the same. This was not a loving relationship on her part. Because when she moved in with Garrett, she didn't want to share a room with him. She was like, no, don't really want anything to do with you. I just want to move in with you, have a roof over my head, and that is it. So Liz moves into the basement and basically makes her own little apartment in the basement. It was basically her lair. And Liz just took advantage of Garrett. She never cleaned up after herself. She never contributed to the household. She never paid any bills. She also stopped working because her other job of stalking had become full time. And that's what she did. She stayed in Garrett's basement in her lair and conducted all of her stalking from Garrett's basement. So now that Liz has her nice cushy setup in Garrett's basement, the stalking now continues and it continues for the next 2 years. It's unbelievable how long all of this went on for. So she's already been doing it for 9 months. So in total, all of this, the stalking, everything lasted for like 3 years. And the same thing pretty much happened. She continues on her relationship with Dave, and every time they would break up, crazy Carrie would make an appearance. And Dave, over time, he was literally losing the plot. He kept changing his number. He even changed jobs at one point. But every single time, Carrie would find him and he wouldn't know how. So then 2013 turned into 2014, and then 2014 turned into 2015, and Carrie still had not been seen by anyone. After 2.5 years of being missing, Carrie's family still had no idea where she was. And this is when the police decided to reopen the case and try and find Carrie. And this is when things would finally start to catch up with Liz Bolger. So this is when things start to move very, very quickly. So in the spring of 2015, this is when detectives start to look back into the case, and they look at it with fresh eyes, and they look at the case in two different ways. One detective looks at the case as if Carrie is still alive, and then the other detective looks at the case as if Carrie was dead. And both detectives, as they are looking in the case, there was one name that keeps repeatedly popping up all over the place, and that is Liz Bolger. They see that Liz has made multiple complaints about Carrie stalking her and harassing her, and they go through the file and they start to think, this doesn't make sense. Why would Carrie harass and stalk a woman that she has met for 2 seconds? And they realize that maybe they need to take a closer look at Liz. So earlier on, when Liz had reported Carrie to the police had taken the contents of Liz's phone from her. So the detectives that have reopened this case have the contents of Liz's phone. But back when Liz first made the report against Carrie, she was seen as a victim. So even though the police had the contents of her phone, they weren't really looking through it because she wasn't a suspect. However, now they are suspicious of Liz. So they go back through her phone contents and they find some very, very suspicious things. First of all, they find a photo of Carrie's car before the police found it. Why would Liz have a photo of Carrie's car? Why did she know where it was? They also come across the email from Carrie to Dave, which showed the picture of Liz tied up being kidnapped. And when they looked at the metadata at this photo, they saw that the photo of Liz being tied up and kidnapped was actually taken on Liz's phone. So Liz is going through a drama in her own life because Dave has broken up with her again for like the 100th time. And Dave actually moves house and he decides to go and live nearer his children, which means that he will be living near his ex, Amy. So naturally, because he's living closer to his children, he starts spending more time with Amy. And Liz was like, no, not having this. No, no, no. I need to get Amy out of the picture. So Liz goes to the police to make a report. And she reports to the police that she's not receiving threatening messages from Carrie anymore. She's actually receiving threatening messages from Amy. You literally cannot make this stuff up. What the hell? Which again is Liz pretending to be Amy threatening her. And she shows the police loads of emails, which of course are fake. But Liz comes up with a little plan on how she's going to get rid of Amy. Because when she's making this police report, Liz has a revelation and she says to the police, I think Amy has been pretending to be Carrie all this time.
She was living for 12 years. And she still goes in and out of it like all the time.
Yeah. So you think she could go for did some of that stuff?
I'm just saying, as another person who would be productive of Dave, it would be her.
Yeah, she's now trying to pin all of this on Amy. And the police were like, are you sure? Like, how do you know this? And Liz is like, 100% sure it's Amy. It's always been Amy. Amy is dangerous. You need to go and arrest her. But Liz was not done. No, there is one more shocking thing. And I cannot believe that this happened. Because the next day after Liz filed that police report, the police received a 911 call from Liz, and she tells them that she has been shot.
The countryside has always been my sanctuary. Keep busy, keep swinging, that's the line.
Oh yeah, I've been shot away. Oh, Jesus.
Liz calls off
Again,
She says that
this guy was losing 2-0. Yeah, all of a sudden the game just changed. My controller went stiff as usual. Whenever they set it up for me to lose, to make the controller stiff. As you can see, what happened with the defense there. When they make the controller stiff, this is what happens every time. Yeah, man. Every time, every single time they make the controller stiff, this happens. So it won't allow me to go back there. Why? Guess why it won't allow me? Because the ball bounced off Van Dijk there. So I can go back and show you what happened, and that's what they do. So just there, that ball going to De Bruyne, that ball bounced off Van Dijk. So as you can see, the ball, look at this position, one turn, all because it bounced off in the middle there. So I mean, look at Petit, yeah. So all this is going on. Look at Petit. Look where Petit is standing. So you can see I'm running Van Dijk. Look at Petit. Look at Blanc. I've tried every defender I've got, and it's the same thing over and over. So that means it's not me. It's something wrong with the game. So look at all of them. They all stood still. Look at where Phil Foden started. Look at where Phil Foden started. Look at where Dries Mertens. Look at Blanc. Look at Petit. None of them ain't moving. 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 So Blanc finally decides to move. Look at Petit. Look at Chouameni. They still ain't moving. They still ain't moving. They still ain't moving. Petit still ain't moving. Petit still haven't moved yet. Look at my right back now. Look at he's now going over he's moving away from the player instead of going towards him. Look at Petit. Petit is still not coming towards the help. I mean, look at the right back. Right back isn't coming anywhere. So you can see Blanc, everyone's just running away from them. You can see, just watch the whole scenario. Petit, he's not moving, he won't move. So you can see, look at where Phil Foden is now, yeah? Watch Phil Foden run past Chouameni and Petit, yeah? Look at the line, notice they won't move. Look at Phil Foden get past them. Look at the right back run away from the play instead of running to Dries Mertens there. Look at Blanc, he won't move. Blanc now runs towards Phil Foden. Yeah, Petit still hasn't moved. Blanc's running towards Phil Foden now. Look at the right back take off randomly to a different direction. Yeah, I mean, so watch this now, yeah. Look at the right back going away from the play. Alright, cool. So I don't know what I was doing there, but I obviously saw two men behind me. So I guess me trying to block that pass, I don't know what the fuck I tried to do there, I couldn't tell. But look at the right back. How is the right back going to affect the game in any way, shape or form? So look at where the ball is. Look at where the ball is here, yeah? Look at where Courtois is. He's not running towards the ball. He's trying to run down the line for some odd reason. Yeah, so watch the ball now. So he turns backwards instead of turning back. The ball leaves the ball there. Look at Blanc now doing that thing that British people do. So, I mean, that shit there. And you can see some hieroglyphics on the back of the 9. You can see the 9 blinking on the back of his shoulder. I mean, you can see there. You see, I don't know what kind of hieroglyphics is that, but yeah. So obviously, you don't have to ask them, and then this got quit because they knew what they're doing. It's a stitch up, innit? It's little fake gangsters they've got in Britain.
They've also suspected it from now they have hard evidence.
This is a fake gangster that they've got in Britain, isn't it? Like, obviously, how they got. I've had my Xbox around that girl. I've had my account around that girl. So she obviously has access to my account. She obviously knows my email. She obviously knows. That's all it needs is just your email and stuff. Because as when I used to have my first Xbox, I used to stay at the house with it, innit? You know what I mean? So they obviously have access to my email because whoever is doing it, that's how they're doing it, innit? Like I say, they think these guys think they're slick, you get me, innit?
And then the police would know what has happened to Carrie. Does that all make sense? It is very confusing, isn't it? And unbelievably, it worked. Pretty much the next day, Liz comes into the police station. I got her to confess. I got her to confess. Amy has confessed to Carrie's murder. Amy had apparently emailed Liz confessing to them.
What she did to Carrie.
So now that they have an updated version of Liz's content, they go through her. And Garrett, this whole time, doesn't have a clue about Carrie, about Dave, about anything going on. In his mind, he has been in a very committed relationship with Liz. It's just crazy. This story, honestly, is crazy. So she turns to Garrett, who, because he is her boyfriend, when she asks him if she can move in with him, of course he says yes. And Garrett, I think, is over the moon because he's in love with Liz and he really cares for her children. However, Liz did not feel the same. This was not a loving relationship on her part because when she moved in with Garrett,
Alright, so this is the bit
she was like, no, don't really want anything to do with you.
Yeah, so it scores there. So you can see that, yeah. In the space of 59 seconds, this guy, I told you, the controller just went stiff, can't move it. He couldn't score the whole time, and he scored between 45, 41 minutes and 45 minutes. It's about 60 seconds. He's ended up scoring fucking two in the space of 60 seconds.
Have become full time, and that's what she did. She stayed in Garrett's basement in her lair and conducted all of her stalking from Garrett's.
So this is where the ball hits Van Dyke, yeah, and I couldn't move. He wouldn't allow me to move.
The stalking now continues, and
yeah.
It continues
so there.
2 years.
So you can see, I'm putting it there. Look at my two players. Look at where my two players are, and the ball is deflected towards their direction. Right, yeah. Look at where my two players are, and they can see where I aimed the ball, where I intended of going. You can see the two center. You can see both Petit and the left back. You can see it there. So now I'm trying to run towards them now, yeah. So look where the ball is, yeah. 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 So you can see I've got my hand on the RB button. So instead of look the RB button, I just pressed it. I'm not pressed it before. Yeah. So you can see it there now, yeah. I'm pressing RB now. Nothing's happening because it did not want to go to Petit. So let me pause this, so you can hear what I'm saying. So you can see I'm pressing the RB button at this point, yeah. They've done something to ensure that my midfielders do not aid me in that box and don't create an extra defender, nor does it select the RB because I've got my hand on RB. It's not on his head, yeah. So you can see it there. It's not on his fucking head at all, yeah. So I'll let it go. So I think, alright, let it go. Do it again, yeah. So I'm pressing RB now, yeah. It just hasn't come up on the screen, but notice that RB meter is already empty. You can see the little red there, it's already empty. I'm not even pressing it yet, but it's on and it's empty. Yeah? Look at Petit. Petit is still the same place. So whatever they have done locks players. Players just go and get locked into a position and they don't move. Until the goal is scored or the keeper deflects it out for a corner or a run past them or something, they won't be reset. so it's a reset mechanism there that player just keeps going there. Everybody they use, they just keep fucking going to that centre mid and standing in there. And then something happens that resets the play, they're basically frozen in that midfield. So that's somebody purposely did that. That's not a glitch. That's somebody purposely done that. If you notice in the controller, you can see just above, let me make my camera a little bit smaller. Yeah, a little bit smaller. So if you look just above on the right controller, you notice I've only got the RT, only the RT is pressed. So obviously I'm sprinting with Van Dijk there, yeah. So you can see the RT pressed on the right button, on the right controller. On the left controller, you see the RB and the RT pressed together, but on the right controller you don't see the RB being pressed. But you can see on the screen. It's still, that bar is still empty the whole fucking time. That bar is still empty the whole fucking time. Yeah. So we obviously saw what just happened from the replay before. So if you go all the way back, yeah. So 60 seconds. How long does it take the bar to refill? Yeah. I'd like to know how long. Notice. Look at Drogba. So the same thing you see in the middle of the pitch. Look at Drogba. He won't run. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He can't run. Yeah, they've done something to the players in the middle of the pitch to behave like that. No, same way Petty won't come back, won't run back and move. He just stops in the same place. Look at Drogba, he's just there jotting. He can't move. It's not a glitch. It's somebody did it. These people did it. You know what I mean? I say I don't have to do this every day. I mean, it's draining. I'll do it when it's necessary, and I guess tonight it's necessary. I ain't even got into champs yet, and I'm having issues. But just look at Drogba. Nobody can tell me that that's not weird. Like, look at Drogba. Look at so yeah. Look at this point. So this is where I'm coming from with the bar. Yeah. So this is where I'm coming from with the bar. Yeah. So you can see. So not only Drogba is moving weird. Yeah. Look at all of them. So the moment I got the ball there, yeah. So I pass the ball out to Tierney. So yeah. None of them are moving forward. I'm now past the half line. Aubameyang is wiping the sweat off his face. Four Scholes is in the centre circle doing that. They're all behind the half line. None of them are moving forward. All right, cool. So I ain't got nobody to play that ball with. That's a left back. So I'm obviously going to fucking be under extreme pressure with that left back. All right, cool. Right, so I did the only thing my brain told me to do. Ball rolled into the middle across the player. You either draw a foul or you fucking get past it. Physically, there's no way they should win the ball, but this is what they've done to the game anyway. So yeah, so Drogba is now facing the other direction. So you can see the black on his hair. That shows you that you can see everybody else that's facing. You notice the hair is the opposite way. So Drogba is looking the other way. What is Drogba looking for? Them players still haven't passed the half line yet. Still this whole point. Yeah. Okay. Aubameyang is my striker, but Aubameyang is walking. So he's still on the half line. While my striker isn't automatically sprinting up the pitch to, I guess, be of some use or some service. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. They're all still. Paul Scholes still in the center of the pitch. So now look at Drogba. Now Drogba again. He's turned the opposite way again, facing the other direction. All of my players were walking. Yeah. So look at Drogba now. So he won't go. No. So all the way from here. So right that line down the middle. If you look, that line is parallel to Petit. Look at Drogba instead of just going forward. So all of my players are stuck in a mode when they are not going forward. It's only the ball carrier that I'm carrying forward goes forward. Look at them, they're all stuck. It's the same, whatever it's causing players not to run up the pitch, it's the same reason why Drogba isn't going forward. Like I say, when the control gets stiff, that's what basically happens. When the control gets extremely stiff and I get no movement from nothing. Because that's what it's designed for. It's designed to make it look like I can't play the game, I'm under pressure, blah, blah, blah. That's what it's designed. But you realize nobody's running on that pitch. The control gets heavy. So anything you do, whether you dribble or pass, is going to fuck up. There's nobody to help you to press that person. So they're all walking. So how you can't press it, they're all walking. Red over his head now. Yeah. I try to do my best with Blanc. Obviously the game stitched me up, innit? And then I couldn't quit. I ain't even got into foot jumps yet. I haven't even got into foot jumps yet. Pass goes. So I tell you, put them in there. Can she fit in there? Oh, no, she doesn't get the camera. No. Is it on full camera this thing? Okay, I'll go for the fancy stuff. Yeah.
Case and try and find Carrie. And this is where Liz
I find a killer, yeah. What am I identify with the killing them?
So in the spring of 2015, this is when detectives start to look back into the case and they look at it with fresh eyes.
It's quite simple because all this was meant to frustrate me. That would have gone from me smashing up my whole house in frustration to being angry, obviously knowing that somebody's doing it, to either fucking mentally snapping and raging out and harming pure people or harming myself. And they would have sat in the shadows acting like, oh, they're British. And finally, I guess they knew the police would have taken their side. They didn't think it would have got to this point. It's obvious that they knew the police would have looked at it a certain way. So they would have gone and said, oh, he's mental, he's this, he's that. And then the police would not have investigated because apparently I've watched enough videos. I've watched enough videos to know what the police behaviour would be when somebody said you're mentally ill. So obviously it's not the police. The police doesn't, I guess they don't go and investigate if it's just a rumour used or a tactic used to force to ensure that no investigation goes on. I mean, because they're obviously idiots because it would have happened too many times for them not to figure it out at some point that well, their automatic response after hearing you're mad is not to investigate. Then anybody can just say you're mad. So it's quite simple.
Email from Carrie to Dave, which showed the picture of Liz tied up being kidnapped. And when they looked at the metadata at this photo, they saw that the photo of Liz being tied up and kidnapped was actually taken on Liz's phone. So Liz is going through a drama in her own life because Dave has broken up with her again for like the 100th time. And Dave actually moves house and he decides to go and live nearer his children, which means that he will be living near his ex, Amy. So naturally, because he's living closer to his children, he starts spending more time with Amy.
So if I don't take Petty in the middle, he won't come in the middle himself.
No. I need to get Amy out of the picture. So Liz goes to the police to make a report, and she reports to the police that she's not receiving threatening messages from Carrie anymore. She's actually receiving threatening messages from Amy. You literally cannot make this stuff up. What the hell? Which again is Liz pretending to be Amy threatening her. And she shows the police loads of emails, which of course are fake. But Liz comes up with a little plan on how she's going to get rid of Amy. Because when she's making this police report, Liz has a revelation and she says to the police, I think Amy has been pretending to be Carrie all this time.
She was with him for 12 years. And she still goes in and out of his life all the time.
Yeah. So you think she could go for the did some of that stuff?
I'm just saying, as another person who would be possessive of Dave, it would be her.
yeah, she's now trying to pin all of this on Amy. And the police were like, "Are you sure? Like, how do you know this?" And Liz is like, 100%, 100% sure it's Amy. It's always been Amy. Amy is dangerous. You need to go and arrest her. But Liz was not done. No, there is one more shocking thing, and I cannot believe that this happened because the next day after Liz filed that police report, the police received a 911 call from Liz, and she tells them that she has been shot.
911, what's the address of your emergency? Oh, yeah.
I mean, if they have control going stick now, I've no control over it anymore. You can see the player was just stood right in front of me and somehow passed it gets to the wrong direction. Ball bounces back off me, all the players just in the centre. Yeah, just in the centre by himself. Can't defend because they're stopping me from defending. This is not a girl that's doing this, it's clearly a man.
Shooting her. And of course, Amy didn't shoot her. Prepare yourselves for this. Prepare yourselves. It was Liz. Liz shot herself in the leg. I just can't believe it. Like, what the hell? The lengths that this woman will go to? Who the hell shoots themselves in the leg? I can't believe the extremes that she is going to. And I also can't believe that she thinks that she's going to get away with this. Also, why would you shoot yourself? That is so dangerous. She could have died. Like, literally, she could have. She didn't. She went to hospital.
I can't get the ball. My control is dead stiff. He's just making some random run, random pass. Right. That's what watch this now, yeah? To him. Turn him back. Through the centre. Slam it in the corner. It moved his keeper fairly.
I'm honestly speechless. Like, what the hell? I don't think I've come across a case this crazy in a long time. So the investigation into Liz continues. The police at this point are pretty convinced that Liz shot herself. And the police start to think, well, if she's capable of this, what about if she's capable of murder? What about if she murdered Carrie? After everything that the police have become aware of the stalking, her pretending to be Carrie, that she shot herself, now she's trying to frame Amy. But the police, even though they suspect this, they still don't know what happened to Carrie. There's still no evidence, nothing. But that would all change because the very next day, Liz walks into the police station and she tells the police that Amy has killed Carrie. You really can't make this stuff up. She is now trying to frame Amy for killing Carrie. The police are having
Okay, even after the fucking ball, the player still running into.
Playing to her games to see if they can trip her up. Because even though the police suspect that Liz murdered Carrie, they still don't know. They still don't even know if Carrie is dead at this point. So the police try to see if they can wind Liz up, push her to the edge, make her slip up. So the police ask Dave to move in with Amy, hoping that Dave moving in with Amy would send Liz crazy, that she would get so jealous and she would slip up. She would confess or make a mistake, do something to give the police evidence that she is responsible for Carrie's disappearance, which honestly seems very unethical and dangerous because the police suspect that Liz is a murderer at this point, and they are possibly putting Dave, Amy, and their two children at risk at this point. But anyway, Dave moves in with Amy, and it does have the desired effect because Liz goes crazy. Liz starts making all of these dramatic phone calls to the police.
Looks like the only person that benefited was her. So she gets to shoot someone, she gets to move in with David, and she gets to be free, and you guys aren't arresting her.
So the police ask Liz to come in and see them. The police are still playing into the game, and they ask Liz for help. The police say to Liz, "Can you help us catch Amy?" So they ask Liz to hand over her phone so they can see the threatening messages that Amy has been sending her so they can catch Amy. And of course, Liz hearing this, Liz hearing the police say, "We want to catch Amy," Liz straight away hands over her phone. But the police, of course, they suspect Liz. So now that they have an updated version of Liz's contents, they go through her whole phone and her deleted files. Because you guys should know that even though it's never truly deleted. So they were able to recover all of Liz's.
How is that not a foul?
Photos, emails,
How is that not a foul?
everything from her phone, and they find a ton of evidence that she is the imposter, that she has been pretending to be Carrie this whole time. They've obviously suspected it, but now they have hard evidence. But they still don't know what has happened to Carrie. So they go back to Liz and they say, Liz, we need your help. We need you to get Amy to confess.
Kind of push her for some more info on the Carrie thing, what she did to Carrie, and so forth like that. That would help our case immensely if it was more specific.
So you guys want me to try and email her back?
I'm leaving that here for Liz.
The police at this point knew that Liz loved sending fake emails, so they were really hoping that Liz would send a fake email from Amy to Liz confessing to the murder of Carrie, and then the police would know what has happened to Carrie. Does that all make sense? It is very confusing, isn't it? And unbelievably, it worked. Pretty much the next day, Liz comes into the police station. I got her to confess. I got her to confess. Amy has confessed to Carrie's murder. Amy had apparently emailed Liz confessing to the murder. And this is when the truth started to come out about what exactly happened to Carrie. In the email, it said that on the 13th of November, Amy had entered
Bar bounce off him.
and found Carrie.
Yeah, bar bounce off him. Won't be able to stop him now. He's just gonna run through. Perfect pass.
And then following that,
Perfect pass. Through the centre.
out to her vehicle before forcing her inside and stabbing her. The email then said that Carrie had been stabbed 3 to 4 times in the chest and stomach before her body was then removed, dismembered, burned, and then discarded in trash bags. And the police reading this email were like, oh my god, this is what happened to Carrie. This is when everyone finally found out that Carrie was dead. She was no longer here, and she had lost her life, and she had been murdered by Liz. And she had been murdered by Liz on that morning that she was in Dave's apartment. The morning that Dave left her in his apartment, kissed her goodbye, was expecting to see her at the end of the day, but she never returned. So the police want to arrest Liz immediately.
There you go. Can't move. I'm trying to run in that direction, and it won't move. I'm just stuck like in a specific spot. Can't move. You see me going backwards and forward, thinking it's some tactic of mine. No, it's not a tactic. I can't get to sprint away, but.
Police track down Carrie's car and they thoroughly search it. And they remove the fabric from the passenger seat, which is where Carrie would have been sat. And there was
So I'm holding him off, passing it wide, back to Dijon to her, middle, yeah, look, instead of passing the ball to her, instead of just passing the ball to fucking little, it does that.
So now the police go to Garrett's house.
All the way out wide. I'm just trying to drain time before it gets back another chance.
All of the electronic devices that Liz has been using for her stalking, which all of these devices have so much evidence of the messages, of photos, of emails, everything. Because Liz had been pretty clever at disguising her IP address. She'd also been using VPNs to disguise where she was. However, the police were able to recover all of her deleted files.
And somehow Van Dijk couldn't win the ball right away. Through the middle for him. Is he gonna fucking do that? So little is fuck off there.
And this foot was in advanced stages of decay. So again, more hard physical evidence that Liz murdered Carrie. And finally, after 1 whole year of investigation, they now had enough evidence to arrest Liz Golder for the murder of Carrie's father. 4 years after Carrie disappeared. And it's just crazy that it took that long. It is so frustrating that it took that long. And it is so frustrating that when Nancy, Carrie's mom, originally reported her daughter missing, the police just dismissed her because Carrie had been diagnosed with bipolar. So anyway, following the arrest, they interviewed Liz, and of course, Liz denied everything. And I have seen this interview, and Liz's body language, oh my god, screams guilty.
Almost at your house, right? She's Running a business means wearing different hats.
So I just got. Was it really? How is this being sent? Some shit. Why is it only two?
Look at it. I've never been inside her car. I've never even been around her car. Ever.
Your fingerprints are there.
No, I haven't. I'm not lying. I've never been around her car. I've never even.
Why would you create all these emails?
I haven't created any emails.
All these are coming from your
No, they're not. And I'm not going to be accused of something that I didn't do.
Now, I'm not an expert on body language, okay? But Liz is sat there with her arms crossed, her legs crossed, her feet are like pointing to the floor. She literally looks like she wants to be swallowed up by the chair. I'm sorry, but that tells me that she is guilty. Like, that body language just screams guilt. And it's so funny, this interview, because Liz thinks that she has been so clever about all of this. Which granted, for a while she was. No one suspected her. She was getting away with it. But she got too cocky. And what she didn't realise is that at the end of the investigation, the police had caught up to what she was doing and they were playing her. Following this interview, Liz Collier was charged with the murder of Carrie and she finally went to trial in 2017. Liz pleaded not guilty. And the defense tried to make out that there was no body because they still hadn't found Carrie's body. There was no body, no case, no murder. However, the prosecution just had too much evidence. Even though they had no body, there was so much evidence of everything that Liz had done, all the stalking, the harassment, all of the deleted files that they had managed to recover, and then the picture of Carrie's foot. It was case closed. And Liz was found guilty of first-degree murder of Carrie's father, and she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. She was also given 20 extra years because she had burned down her own house. Liz obviously still remains in prison to this day, and she still claims that she was innocent. Now, after the trial, the headlines with this case, they went crazy. I mean, of course they did. This case is crazy. I don't think I've ever come across a case where someone has been so obsessed with someone. I mean, you've got to remember here, Liz killed her own pets. We have to remember that. What the hell? That is the extreme lengths that she went to. She shot herself and she was sending thousands of messages every single day. It's unbelievable. And why did Liz do this? Like, why did she do this? It's obvious that she is a very obsessive, possessive, jealous person. She had a history of stalking because at the very beginning of the case, if you remember, she was stalking a woman called Melissa. She pretended to be Melissa. She obviously has a history of this. But what I want to know, and I don't have the answer to this question, why did she murder Carrie? Why did it escalate to murder? She had a history of stalking. Why didn't she just stalk Carrie? You know, why didn't she just harass Carrie like she did everybody else? What was it about Carrie? Why did she murder her? Dave was only dating Carrie for 2 weeks. It wasn't even a serious relationship between Dave and Carrie. Why did Liz get so jealous of Carrie? What was it about her? I don't know. I honestly don't know why it escalated to murder. I honestly have not got a clue. And given everything that has happened in this case and what has been proven that Liz has done, I think it's safe to say that Liz murdered her son Cody and framed Glenn for it. I know. I bet you forgot about that as well. There is so much that happens in this case. It's insane. But this case is so heartbreaking for Carrie's family, what they had to go through. They had to go through 4 years of not knowing what happened to Carrie. And Max, Carrie's son, he had to go through all of this. He went through so many milestones in his life whilst this case was going on. He turned 16, then he turned 18, he graduated. At one point, he even texted his mom whilst this was going on and said, "Mom, if this is really you, please come back. I want you to be at my graduation," which is just so heartbreaking. And what is even more heartbreaking is to this very day, Carrie's body has never been found. So it's impossible to say how Carrie was even murdered. The only thing we have is that email from Liz. Well, pretending to be Amy confessing to the murder. But I want to end this video remembering Carrie. Carrie Farber was described as a caring, talented, and fun-loving person. She was thriving in life and in her dream job, but most of all, Carrie loved her family, especially her son Max, who was her absolute world. They loved spending time together, and he misses her terribly. She was taken far too soon from her young son. She still had so much more life to live. She was only 37 years old. And in the years that have followed, Max has gone on to live his own life, and he has followed in his mom's footsteps, and he has become a software engineer. And he has said that he still misses her every single day, and he hopes that he has made her proud. And that is the end of today's case, which was a roller coaster. And this case is very infuriating because we still don't have answers to a lot of questions. So as always, let me know your thoughts, theories, and opinions. I really want to hear them on today's case. Thank you again to Magella TV for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget you can get your free trial by going to the link in my description box. As always, let me know what cases you want me to cover next because I always want to know what you want to hear next. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing so well.
Probably not be 5 star first. That's some shit. That's really everything, yeah.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing so well. Happy Halloween to tomorrow. Wonderful spooky
Mm.
night. Remember, I wrote a series and I still haven't seen the second one, so maybe I'll watch that one. I don't know, but let me know what your plans are for Halloween and if you're doing anything. Have fun, stay safe. So today we're going to be covering the case that you probably have never heard of because I hadn't heard of this case until a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to be covering the case of Bucky Lee West. And wow, she comes out of a dysfunctional family and she is dysfunctional herself. Bucky and her family, mainly her parents, are so toxic, it's so chaotic. Bucky had a very rough childhood. She didn't really even have a childhood. Her parents weren't always the best to her. And then when Bucky grew up into
Look at how this guy's playing, yeah? So this guy is either a very good player or he clearly has an advantage. Look at his player running into the box. Look at his player running into the box. Look at his player running into the box. So I'm looking for the same energy from my players, you know what I mean? I'm looking for the same energy from my players, you know what I mean? Just like he saw his player jogging into the box, I'm looking for my players to do the same. Again, his players are swarming me and being swarmed all the way across there. Head it back in the middle. I'm just being swarmed. Can't see anything on the screen. Through the middle. Through the center. Bad pass for some reason. Bad control. So you can see the intent is for this guy to come and kick 6, 7 goals in the fucking back of the net. You know what I mean? So look at his remaining, look at everyone. So random fucking shot from wherever. Yeah. His players just there to, just scrape you up. The AI just knew exactly where I was gonna pass the ball. So you can already see what they're setting up there for this to just be for me to be overrun. So I'm gonna put mine on get forward for him, get him behind. So I'm gonna put mine on aggressive, and then him, and then aggressive, yeah. Then I'm gonna go tactics, yeah, drop back fast build up instead of direct pressing, forward runs, yeah, cool. So let's go. Alright, let's watch this, yeah. Yeah, true that he tackled between the legs. He's going back to this guy here. Yeah, yeah, go like I said. I didn't have to ask. We don't have to ask. Son and Salah, Lewandowski, Griezmann, they always do this. So you can see, obviously, where the camera is. Yeah. So I turn back. Look at where he tackles from. Yeah, look at where he tackles from. For some reason, Cancelo won't dribble the ball. He's not dribbling the ball. He's not touching the ball. Through his legs. I didn't have to look. I knew right away. Through his legs. I got the ball there. Yeah. Yeah. Look at Van Dijk. Why Van Dijk not getting the ball there? I knew right away, innit? So whoever said that they're exacting justice on me, trust me, I will exact justice on you when I see you. But I don't care if you're a police officer. I don't care what tactic you try to deploy here. I don't care if you claim you are doing your job. I don't care if you were doing your job, big. You fucked with my mental health over some idea and some fictitious belief. I don't think you man are ever be allowed to walk away from this. And then trap you man one way or the other. But simple as that, innit? Yeah. Again, you see Van Dijk missing the ball. So in the space of fucking a second, this guy scored, but immediately. And Van Dijk just allowed the ball to pass him. Yeah. Again, like I say, see what I mean? Same thing again. The same thing. I don't care what tactic you man are trying to justify and claim you were doing. I don't care what confession you were trying to exact. You didn't get that confession, so you basically fucked up mental health for no reason. And then you want to keep silent and cover up the matter because it didn't work. Just me, I won't allow that. Right? Whatever I've got to do, I will do. Like I said, I just knew what was going to happen. I could just tell from the start of the game. Yeah, just running over my players. Just running over my players. Yeah, I'm just running over my players. Push it off. Yeah, through the centre. Yeah, just constantly going back to him. His AI doesn't know exactly where to go, but I bounce off me 3 times. Now I've got to use my centre back. If I don't use my centre back, I'm basically leaving that space there. And then yeah. Yeah, can't pass the ball now, can't do anything. Just my bloodline. My exact my Brenda Justice and human bloodline. You're the one that's hiding. You're the big Great Britain, you shouldn't be hiding from some little nigga like me, bro. Simple as that, innit? Yeah. Shouldn't be hiding from me, bro. People wanna hide when they got caught, innit? No, he has nothing to do. Look at his bodyguard, yeah. So look at what his bodyguard just did there, innit? Look at the game. The keeper won't run. I've got my hand on wide the whole time. Keeper won't run. Yeah. So if you saw his bodyguard, yeah, his bodyguard just went on this mad run, zigzagging all over the box. Obviously, it's distracting him because you're trying to stop him from doing that because it's not supposed to do that. Like, I mean, it really isn't supposed to do that. Yeah, I mean, straight to him. So instead of a player running in behind, the player goes and stand behind him. And I said they're trying their best to make the game look normal now because they got caught at doing it. So they're trying to make it look like it's normal now. But guess what? How are they gonna stop? What's the explanation? If I start just winning everything, what would be the explanation? They obviously would lose. So they're trying to make it look normal now, like they have never done anything wrong. But even the blind can see that something's wrong here. 5 on up 40 minutes. And what did he do to deserve that? I've got the better players, and my players won't run in behind because you're not seeing a position where I am running into space and getting into the box and not being able to finish. There's no way of finishing. So that's right, yeah. Can't run off with what's it called, Abangyo. I mean, I've got the same Van Dijk, and I can't run off with Abangyo. He's not misplaced one pass yet. All of my passes are misplaced. I mean, look, perfect through the middle, and he's got through a minute. I know it's crazy, but yeah, there you go. And then he goes off and act like they pretend like they're good. This is the nature of the British. Never any go and look at any wars these men have ever fought in their lives. Historically, go and look at them as a fighting nation. They don't fight you when you see them. They fight you from behind closed doors. They are ambushes. So they'll figure out, they'll go wait in bushes and count how many soldiers you've got. Oh, you've got 6 soldiers. They're coming with 18, you get me? Yeah. And then they go, we're very good fighters. No, they're not. They're cowards. Yeah, cowards. Go through them historically. They're a coward nation. But they've never been to a fight in their life without running for allies and help from every Tom, Dick, and Harry. They might have to buy or barter. They'll try and get allies. They won't go into a fight by themselves. You know what I mean? Everybody else has been to war by themselves at some point. These that won't go into fights by themselves. There you go. Van Dijk just allowed him to walk past him. Alright, Van Dijk went there. I purposely left Van Dijk for the AI to do it on its own, and not even the AI is capable of doing anything in this game. So straight to the middle again. And what I do, I purposely leave my AI to do the tackling for me. Just watch the AI in it. So I won't select the centre back. So I just leave the AI on its own. So I go on there. I simply leave the AI to do it on its own for itself. So that way I don't get blamed for it being my mistake because that's what they're saying behind closed doors. So straight to the guy, yeah. There's a big old pitch behind him. Straight to the guy, you know what I mean? That's it. I just leave the AI to do his thing, yeah. Uh, And it's can't pass the ball. He just keeps passing it to the opponent. Okay. So pressing R and pressing RB. Pressing RB, ball back to him. Ball through the center somehow. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not pressing it. I'm not pressing anything. Oh, I refuse to press anything. Look at them. They won't. They can't stop the ball. I can see the situation. If you put your game on professional, they'll still tackle. So what exactly is my AI difficult level? I mean, what exactly is my AI difficult level? I know that they're going out there saying, "Oh, he takes drugs." Why they can't come and say to me, "Where did I buy the drugs from?" Simple as that, you know. I guess they don't want that part to come into play because it's only meant to say, "Oh, he's taking drugs." Well, if I am taking drugs, I reported the people who sold me the drugs. Nothing was done about that either. Yeah. Nothing was done about that either. I reported the drug dealer to the police, and then I still see her walking around free to this day. So anybody out there saying that I'm taking drugs, put that on your tape too, pussy. She's not in bar. She's still having living her best life. So trust me, that won't help you, man. Yeah, that won't help you, man. Anybody out there saying I'm taking drugs? I reported the girl who was selling the drugs to me, and they're still free to this day. So I don't get how my drug taking comes into it, which is the crime. Is taking drugs a crime or selling a crime? Yeah, leave it at that. Innit? Let's look, innit? Look at him. Look at all of his players. Though. I'm gonna just let the defense. Look at all of his players. Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Look at all of them. Look at Darwin Nunes. Look at all of them. They're just all running into the box to come much of them devils. I mean, yeah, look at all of them. So I'll go play a game of professional. I'll show you even a professional AI tackle. So what difficult level is my fucking defender set up? I'd like to know what difficult level they're set at. He won't allow me to turn, so I'm trying to turn back. Yeah, yeah, just there, innit? Yeah, yeah, perfect for him. Okay, he's gone now. So I just let the AI do it himself. My AI does not do anything, but it doesn't do anything. So for the last 5, 6 years me playing, I've been struggling. I didn't realize it. You know, I guess I'm just so used to being abused that I didn't take notice of the abuse. You know, like most people, you know, they don't realize they're being abused. You know, so I would have been playing this for 6 years, and the police and the local community would have been spreading rumors that I am taking drugs. Because once you label somebody as a drug taker, mentally ill in this country specifically, the police don't seem to investigate anything that happens to them. So obviously people know that, don't they? So people can just go around spreading rumors that you're a drug taker, and that's it. And the police will just go, "Oh, they're taking drugs," so they can poison you and do anything to you, and then just go, "Oh, you overdosed." They can literally put rat poison in your fucking weed or anything you fucking take, and they'll just write it as overdose. If somebody is not there to scream and shout and cause an issue, then nothing's done about it. Innit? If they don't go and pay their own, I guess, what do you call them guys? that does the autopsy. Yeah, they don't go and pay their own autopsy people. Then the police just use it as an overdose, and then if they find something, they go, "Oh, we're so sorry, we didn't realize." It's because it's the police that's behind it. And that's what they call national security in Britain, innit? Overdosing people. Yeah, that's what they do in Britain. They overdose people because they're cowards by its very nature. And all of this is a part of it because they would have been telling people how I'm on drugs and I'm this and I'm that and I'm got mentally ill as a result of smoking Stardog. So all of this was meant to be done to overshadow and covertly justify and prove it and show all of that to everybody. You get me? Whenever I put stuff online that counters what they're saying, them videos don't get viewed. So we can just do it like that, innit? Trust me, we can do it like that. So unlock Nike. Yeah. So that's what they do around there. But like I say, why can't the police not say anything? YouTube is full of the people who own YouTube. Why people own YouTube? So if YouTube is ignoring it, the police is ignoring it, then something clearly is going on there. When the police see me, they've got to make sure they're in a fully crowded environment. They won't just see me and walk past me by themselves, you get me? They make sure pure people are around. You know what I mean? Or they drive past in the car staring at me and that. But they're cowards, isn't it? You know what I mean? They're all cowards with all of them. So that's what they do. They talk about mental illness and drugs and all this and drinking and stuff. And they just put it down to that. No, he's a drug taker and he drinks. I don't drink, but there's some guy called Page bought what 19 bottles of wine or whatever it was. Can't remember the exact number. We all sat there drinking it together, and I am the only one that they seem to have labelled as the alcoholic as a response. Yeah, because I sat there and drank 18 bottles of wine by myself. Like, where the fuck did I know wine from? Who drinks more wine than the British? It's only the French, innit? So for them to be say claiming I'm a wine taker, nonsense. Man. So they can't do anything about it because they can't, because they couldn't win. Everybody else who around me was raised in this fucking place, but I came here at 18, so trust me, wine is not something I know about. I never drank a wine, a bottle of wine. The only place I've ever seen wine, bitch, is on TV. Yeah. So it would make more sense, logically, that is the ones that grew up here that drank most of that wine. Because you've never seen me go out there and bought a bottle of wine, any at all, otherwise from for that girl. So you can't win. It's like you, man, being a coward. That's what pisses me off the most. That is what actually hurts the fucking most. That you, man, you try to come in public areas and sit there and wind me up silently and covertly. Well, trust me, there will be a point where you're gonna make a mistake, and trust me, I'm gonna kick them teeth out of your mouth. Trust me, and then they'll say, "Oh, because people are winding you up, it doesn't give you the right to attack." So, yeah, so it's all right for a team of people to consistently talk about you, create a conspiracy, and they all come and target you psychologically, and you're not allowed to respond. Guess what? That theory will be fucked because I ain't got no friends or family in it. That's the problem you're gonna find with that little idea on this game, yeah. Like. Because if you have friends and family, and your friends and family can go back and do that to them. So then there's no reason to be violent. You're abusing an orphan by its very definition. You know what I mean? So you man thought you were clever. I've got so much angles to come at you, man. It's unbelievable. Look again, you're seeing this weird thing. So I won't tackle. I'll just let the AI do it. Just to look at Van Dyke. Yeah. So this is what the game is doing on its own. I leave the game to do it on its own. So it would not matter what I have done there because the game is driving the running direction, the angles, everything is the game is driven by the AI. Yeah, I mean it's all driven by the AI. So I won't tackle one person in this game, but I let the AI fucking do it itself because it looks like it's me that's doing it. But let's watch this and I'll just leave the AI. Just leave the AI. No, just leave the AI. But, I mean, you guys are cowards, but like, yeah, that's what they're doing it there. Harass it behind closed doors. And I don't know how you man are gonna work that out in court to say it's psychological manipulation. I won't use the word wind up. Trust me, I'm not. I use that big fucking term like the experts would, which is psychological manipulation. You know, so when all of a sudden I can't tackle two, 2-1 in a matter of 60 seconds. No movement from players, no movement from players. I show many finally show his face. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is that offside? Yeah. They all know, all of these cunts in this country would know what they're doing because they know each other, they know the culture, they know how the people behave, they know how the police behave, they know how the police thinks, the police know how the people thinks, vice versa. So it's not hard to set up outsiders because if you're not from somewhere, you don't know how to behave. They would know how each other behave. They would have grown up in the system and seen it all themselves a million times. And so I won't tackle. They would have known that this would have been the response to whatever it is they are claiming that I have done. I mean, they would, the whole lot of them would have known it. So you man come and think you're winding me up. And you think I won't attack you for it. Do you think I won't attack you for it? You man are wrong with. Yeah. So I'm not going to attack her. I'll just leave. I'll just leave the AI to do all this. And look at the AI's behavior. Yeah. So immediately, it's gonna cause. Yeah, she's black. Look at his man. Look at his line blank. I see some crazy black. I say your government tactic is a minor here, bro. That you make don't stand a chance here, bro. Blatantly accusing the government of doing it. Blatantly, so I don't know how you're gonna work that out in that courtroom. And blatantly accuse you of doing it, bro. So look, I'm not gonna tackle her and leave the AI to do it. So look at the keeper. Like, what's wrong with the keeper? Why can't the keeper make one fucking save? Bro? Why can't the keeper make one save? This country's a racist country, bro. These little black guys who they grow up in school with, they don't even know, they don't even understand that they've picked up a racist mentality. They think it's normal, but they don't understand that that's what's going on. They walk around thinking because I always seen them walking around with like, like a group of black and white guys and that, yeah. Yeah, literally, they always do it. Anytime I leave out my house, they're always walking past with like either some black guy and some white girl or some black guy and some white guy. I mean, some sort of relationship of some sort, yeah. And them man don't even understand that they're racist themselves. But, they don't even know. They can't fathom the idea because they just think it's normal, innit? You know what I mean? What they'll do, they think they're smart, yeah. They'll abuse you, and then the government's, oh, you're not allowed to attack your abusers and self-defense is a reasonable force. So, i.e., a whole fucking 10,000 people can come every day and psychologically abuse you. They all line up in a particular pattern, and you walk down the street. Every 100 yards, somebody bounces into you. Somebody drops something in front of you. You know what I mean, 100 yards. Obviously, that's going to grate on your nerves. You don't now go to the bank. The bank man is telling you that, oh, he can't open an account. You should go and open it. You should go and open it on the website. So I went into the bank on Friday. This little white kid is like, oh, he, I should open it on my phone at NatWest Bank, innit? Yeah. So he went like, he's like, oh, open it on your phone. So I was like, why should I open it on my phone? I said, you're a bank. I said, you open it. He's like, oh, I can't. So I said, oh, my phone's battery is dead, isn't it? He's like, oh, well, he can't open it. I said, why you can't open it? I mean, you work at the bank. What's stopping you from opening a bank account? I mean, what's stopping you from doing the application to open my bank account? He's like, oh, you have to do it over the phone. So I was like, what? You got to do it over the phone, man. I was like, you man mad? I mean, I was like, are you man fucking mad, dude? So he's like, oh, that's the new rules. You got to do it over you got to open it online. So I said, this is a bank. You're telling me a bank is saying that you have to only open that online. So a country that talks about fraud fucking every day. Yeah. So this guy got drop dead in his name. I don't know if you see it, but he's got drop dead in his name. So I'm gonna put drop dead in my name and see what it says. So I'm gonna do exactly what he's doing there now. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna do exactly that. I'm gonna put drop dead in my name as well. So I went into this bank, innit? I went in NatWest in what's it called? Market Street. And that's what he was saying. He said that I need to open the bank on my phone. I said, why should I open the bank on my phone? Obviously, they're fucking aware of my, they're aware of the cyber attack. So what they want to do is me open it on the phone, and then whoever is hacking my device gets access to see my bank details and stuff, because everybody in the city knows what's going on. Obviously, it's not like they can win that case. You get me? They can never win that case, and this is how the police cheat. You get me? Innit? Because guess what? They don't have to go and get a warrant. They can secretly surveil your phone, yeah, and surveil all your finances. Don't go and get a warrant, and then when they see you commit some form of criminal act, then they just run out and say, "Oh, we believe we'll find this and that." They already know what's on that phone, and they'll come and say, "Oh, they use special software to fucking get the deleted files." They're lying about special software. Your phone can only hold 32 gigabytes of memory, plain and simple. So if you hit your 32 gigabytes of memory, you can't put nothing back on that phone, but like, as simple as that. That's done there, and that's the end of that. You know what I mean? But before I get to that point, yeah, before I get to that point, notice he's got drop dead in his name. I'll put drop dead in mine and see if it tells me that, oh, my name would be offensive to others. You know what I mean? So yeah. Um yeah, so that's what he said. He's like, oh, I should open the bank account. There it is, drop dead. I should open the bank account on my phone. So I said, yo, I told him, I said, my phone, basically, I'm having issues with my phone. Somebody hacked my phone, and plus the battery is dead. So you open it, it's like he can't. I was like, at the bank, you're telling me you can't open a bank details in a bank. Obviously, if I go on, I'm gonna go on NatWest now, and I'm literally gonna go on it right on this game, right after this game, because it can't be as playing in it. So I'm gonna go on it now and look at the NatWest website, and to confirm it right in front of the whole fucking world if this is actually the case. Because I'll go on there and see why in it. And if I don't confirm it, I'm gonna stand up at that bank every fucking day until I catch that little cunt's face. You get me? I'm gonna go there from 7:30 in the morning till that bitch closes and make sure I get him face and put him out there and say he's working with whoever these people are. you turned out to be police, then the police will have to explain what exactly was the nature of that. What were you trying to achieve there? You know what I mean? They'll simply have to answer what they were trying to achieve by telling you to do that. Because that would heap frustration on me. That would make me paranoid. That would make have some sort of psychological effect on me. What exactly was your operation there? And what exactly is the special operation team objective and what were they trying to do? Are you either trying to stitch me up by making it look like I'm fraudulently obtaining look, I mean crazy man. You're obviously trying to stitch me up or you're trying to get me to attack these little white boys and I'm not opposed to it. Trust me, I'm not opposed to it. I just need to make sure I catch it on camera first before I do it. Innit? So you can see, look at his left hand. He's doing that with his left hand. And if you look at this hand, he's doing the same thing. Yeah. So he's making two gun fingers. I'm gonna show you the artwork. Look at his pants. You can see his pants. Yeah, his pants went missing there. So you can see. Look at he's doing his arm. I'm not opposed to attacking you, man. Trust me. Yeah. So now he's changed to fist. I'm not opposed to attacking you, but you're gonna have to explain all of that on the game. Innit? What are you gonna do? Delete it all? Good luck, bro. I thought you had special software. I mean, I thought you had special software, but so I'm definitely gonna record this guy's account. Yeah. I don't know who passed that ball, cause it certainly weren't me. Yeah, that certainly weren't fucking me, but so I'm gonna drop dead in my name and see if it tells me that I'm not allowed. It's offensive to others. So I'm gonna record this guy's finger, his account name, everything about him. He's gonna say he's offline, and it's not gonna have anything that identifies the person directly. It's gonna have some sort of strange weirdo name. You get me? Like a non-identifiable name sort of thing. But what is for sure, he associates himself with the city of Manchester. So based on the team that he's chosen, nobody outside of fucking Manchester supports Manchester City, bro. You know what I mean? It's only these weird guys down there that support that team, but nobody else does. I mean, nobody else supports that team, but it's only you, man. Manchester City football team has no fans. They simply don't. They have no history. They have no fans. Anybody that's supporting them is pure kids. I mean, pure kids or some old man that used to live somewhere in the northwest. I mean, I mean, so let's see if he scores, but right away. Innit? So you man have to explain what exactly was the team and this group of people doing. And he will fuck that tactic up before it. That was fuck. I told you right away, bro. Yeah. Literally, I just scored and immediately scored back. I mean, I'm gonna look at that NatWest thing right away innit, to confirm it. Innit? The police has not told me what is going on, so because they've not said it to me, it obviously it's meant to be against me. Because the only person, the time they won't tell you, is when the operation is against you. If you're not the operational target, then you'd be made aware, innit? So the fact that they haven't said to me, I'm obviously the target in the situation. So there's no way they can come around and try and pull anything off there to say they were trying to do this and do that. Innit? I am obviously the operational target there. I mean, I can't wait to wake up dead in. I wake up on the other side because what they're gonna do? They're gonna have to poison me, aren't they? Because what, who's gonna help them in the end? Then I attack somebody in the court. I still use all this evidence. That little shithouse judge, what you have lined up. Let him say he's not gonna take these evidence to court or take these evidence into consideration. What do you think I'm gonna do next? I'm already gonna issue my appeal, and then I'm gonna make it put it right on my statement in that appeal. I said Britain exiting the European Union affects the human rights court in this country, which means the government can do anything to anybody they want, and no human rights claims getting just like before. I'm not even playing the game and they're getting fouled. I'm not even playing the game, blood. Yeah, there he goes. He goes off now. I told you about these little white boys. So I'm obviously gonna abuse this kid now. Yeah. I'm not even playing the game, though. And he's doing that. I'm obviously going to abuse this kid. Though. So 10, yeah. Obviously going to abuse this kid. Though. Yeah. So Delta has to run now because what's she gonna do? Is she gonna come and say, "Oh, I love you, son"? Every time she says that, what bro? As of this point, every time she says it, I'm gonna upload that. I'm gonna upload that bitch. I mean, every time she says it from this point, I'm gonna upload it in it. Like, just watch me. Every time that woman contacts me and say, "Oh, I love you, son," I'll upload that bitch to the internet. Go and say, "Oh, he's using a fake number and a fake phone." So I don't know what you mean like. So in 2 games, two foot champs game, I've conceded 22 goals in 2 games. 22 goals in 2 games. The last guy scored 10. This guy come and scored 12. Having 23 goals in 2 games. So you can see every time they're playing, their hands keep doing these weird things. In you see it on that. So I'm pause it there just for the dramatical effect. So so we're gonna say how British people say what the hand sign is for British people saying to fuck off and fuck you. So look at it there. So we just before it hits the ball, there is just before it hits the ball. So we're gonna look at what the British sign for fuck off is. So this is intentional. So you can see, as soon as it hits the ball, it becomes more and more apparent. It's more and more apparent, more and more apparent, more and more apparent, more and more apparent. Yeah. So 23 goals in 2 games. Watch this, look what his keeper does now. Let's see what he does. What does he keep the ball? Look at this. So it said examiner. And there's some weird words on that top in it. So examiner, checker, talker. And you can see the drop dead in it. You can see the drop dead all over the stadium. So I7 Yono drop dead 2015. My controller is vibrating like mad in my hand. You can just hear it. And it's just vibrating, vibrating. Yeah, so this kid is called. I'm gonna abuse this kid and force them, like I said, offline. Force them to what you call it now. What do you call it now? To put another strike against my Xbox profile. Suck your mother. Um, mother British. Blue eye. I put Jewish in there. Blue eye, gay. Yeah, I want to make sure that they hit that report button. British blue eye, British blue eye, gay, Jewish, Jewish pussy. Uh, if I knew your face, you wouldn't have one score 10. What was it 10 for? And 13 for it, wasn't it? 13, was it 13 for score line? Yeah, 13 for score line. Watch it, he won't report it. So suck your mother, British blue, gay, Jewish pussy. If you knew your face, if I knew your face, you wouldn't have. I meant to say one there. You wouldn't have one. Yeah, you wouldn't have one. Yeah, so they won't report that because guess what? They log that in. That is reported. When I hear what's what they're gonna say? Appeal it. Are they gonna ignore that score line is quite strange? They'll be forced to, aren't they? And then trust me, I get this. I can't ban myself. And suck yeah, mother, British, blue. So when you say homophobic things and anti-Semite things, there are problems coming in. So suck your mother, British, blue eye, gay, Jew, gay, Jewish, pussy. Yeah, I'm gonna add a threat to it. Jewish pussy. If I knew your face, you wouldn't have one. Have one. One score line. 13, what was it now? 13 for 13 for what is it? 13 for what was it? 13 for 13 for oh no, for scoreline 13 for loss. Yeah, I know they can't. Acknowledge. I'm very sure of it. They have to ignore that. So select R. So go select R. Add recipient. So if you select R, can you copy that? Select R, copy, and then his name is alright. His name is I7. So I7. Got paste it all back now. So paste. Name I7 U-N-O, you know. It's meant to say you know, as in you know what is going on. Yeah, I's name, I's you know. So suck your mother, British blue eye, gay Jewish pussy. If I knew your face, you wouldn't have one. So we got the nationality, we got his eye color, we got his sex, so we got homophobia, we got anti-Semitism, and then we got a threat to do him harm. Then we got a scoreline, and we got his fucking name and ID. So watch him, don't report that because they can't report it. Because guess what? How is Xbox going to deal with it? You know what I mean, yeah, that's a curious part. You know, like, how is Xbox going to deal with it? Because if Xbox takes action against me and chooses not to take action against them, what does that mean? Does that mean they legally take action against only who they choose or who violates the terms and condition of use? So trust me, it's technical like that. He won't report it because he can't report it because it implicates Xbox by its very definition. And then that now takes it outside of the realm of merely a girl being responsible for it or a girl doing it. It now takes it into the response of international conspiracy. The head of this country are white people, as in we have the royal family. The head of Xbox is Bill Gates, white people. Who else we got now? The head of America, and white people. So they don't particularly want these things to be coming up in any questions and inquests at any point in the future. So I'm gonna sit here and wait for him to respond. So this is how they do it now because guess what? They know they can't do anything about it because when they were doing it before, I didn't do certain things like I'm doing now. So now they hit that response button. It's just really incriminating Xbox to say, well, Xbox has a right to investigate what I'm saying, and the terms of condition is meant for everybody. So if I somehow miraculously have a different terms of condition than the next 900 billion people on the planet, then there's a problem there. Who went out of their way to do that, and who went out of their way to do it. So while I'm waiting for this guy to hit his thing, and Xbox to say because Xbox updated it to this new thing. If you get 5 strikes, they can ban your account and do whatever. That's a part of the terms and conditions. So let's see how the terms and conditions is enforced. So he's called Y7, you know. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the guy that they done something and he scored by 2 and fucked off. I think that guy, I beat that guy in the end. He scored 10. And so let me send the same messages to him so they can say I'm harassing them. Yeah. So so this one was 10-4. 10-4, I don't know, it was 10-2 that one. 10-2, yeah, scoreline 10-2 loss. Yeah, so do it to both of them. So that's the game, innit? You know what I mean? See how many goals I concede. So he had what 2-0 is in foot champs there. So how long is he playing? So he's in the first half 2-0. He's offline, Insta call off, you know. So that's his Instagram name. That's so obviously go and Google his Instagram name. So call off, you know. Call off, you know. So call off, you know. And I suspected it's some fake account. I mean, so it's not hard to see. They probably thought I wouldn't have noticed that. They probably are testing me to see what I notice in it because they're trying to figure out how to fight me in it. So they're testing how I notice. Look, So that's the account. He only got what? What's that? 9 posts, 173 following, 48. Was it? He's only got 48 followers. He's following 179 people, and then that's what he's got there. So that's it. That's the account. That's he's got his name there below Insta. So obviously Insta is, as you can see, So fake account, fake profile. So what they're doing is testing me to see if I would have noticed that thing there, and if I would have gone and searched for it. Innit? So I'm not gonna message them there. I don't like man like that. I'm just making sure that a search list is there, and whoever has the account, let's see when it comes down to the wire, let's see if they've got a fake account on Xbox and some shadow account as well. Tell the police that they can't win, no matter who you go to try and justify that. No matter who you go to try and authorize such an action, they'll have to say, well, what exactly was the idea behind the action? Because you gotta get somebody to sign off on it, plain and simple. Plain and simple, you have to get it signed off on. And I guess finding the man who signed off on the whole thing shouldn't be an issue in that courtroom. Quite simple. And finding his background, anything he's ever been accused of, involved in, what he does outside of work, none of them things should be a real problem. Because the head of your teams, they don't have anonymity. Nope, they're quite known people. Only the undercover detectives have anonymity. But trust me, your bosses, managers, whoever, superintendents, all these people are public figures. They can be identified publicly. So it won't be hard to get the information necessary against you. Yeah, so we'll go on to this NOTVOLUNTEERED because I can't be asked playing. Conceded 24 goals in 23 goals in 2 games. So I think if I'm being clever, I end the fucking thing there and just leave it at that. So yeah, drop dead. So let me go on to drop dead now. So let me save it down. Start recording. So yeah, give it a couple of seconds. 6. I get it to 10 seconds. He's got drop dead in his name. It's called drop dead. So we'll go on to what's it called now? The name changing thing. And put drop dead in my name. And see if it says, oh, yeah, your name would be offensive. Let's see then. So this week, 1 hour 32 minutes. Yeah, offline 22 minutes. I don't know why it's saying I'm offline, but anyway, rename club. So drop dead. So drop. I don't know what is one 50 drop and dead. Drop dead. So drop dead and 6. Yeah. So drop dead 6. And what did he have? He had BVB. So I'll do it exactly like how he had it. It won't change anything. BVB. Let's see. I'm quite curious what it says. BVB. So yeah. Man, I thought it wouldn't dare do them. I thought it wouldn't fucking dare. So anyway, I'll drop that. So yeah, did it. I'm gonna change it now. Cup. Drop dead cup. Drop dead. How many can I write? Anti 6. Anti 6. Yeah. Anti 6. Like that. Anti 6. And come on, fit one more. So how can I put this now? So if I change it to Drop dead anti-6. Yeah, anti-6. Yeah, Northwest. Yeah, so drop dead anti-6 Northwest. I don't give a fuck about the rest of them. You man, I don't like you man. But so cop. Cop. Yeah. I can't remember what they said that something. Can't remember what that stop stands for. Yeah. I can't remember what that stops for. So I'm going to this Northwest thing now. Because I've been there twice. I've been there in 2021 when I first found out that my bank account was exposed. Because guess what? They'd have to go and get a warrant for this NatWest account, bank account, and they don't want that. So the only way for them to see it is to do it illegally. You get me, innit? So that's why they want me to do it through the phone. Because if I do it through the bank, then I don't. They know I won't. I'll get the app on my phone. They know for a fact I won't get the app on my phone. So not not West. So I just need to confirm it. Manage preference. Confirm choice. What's this shit now? Down. All the off. Confirm choice. I'm your NatWest digital assistant. If you need help with your banking, NFC or current account. Banking now. Choose from a credit card. Visit support center. Logging in. Buy now, pay later and all that. Earn at least 10k per year. Be a UK resident. A NatWest current account holder. You must already have been NatWest. Payment mobile app required. And able to go for license and blah, blah, blah. I'm not interested in that. I just want because I feel like people like target me and picking my pockets on the street and like obviously and the man are slick in it. Like you get me, was it like extremely paranoid and I mean to the man who just pick your pockets in. So I feel like I keep losing my bank cards and I don't know why. So I can't work out if it's my fault or people are picking my pockets in. So I need a second bank account so I don't have to sit around and wait all the time. Prices are obsessed, easy squeeze, upgrade your home's energy efficiency. So we are showing some home efficient improvements, save money. Okay. Authorized push payment app fraud ranking 22. Authorized push payment app fraud happens when someone is tricked into transferring money to a fraudster bank account. These charges use data given to the payment system regulator PSR by major banking groups in the UK. In 2022, you can read the full report by visiting Payment Service Regulator. Was it the charge to use the data given to the payment systems regulator? I don't know what that is. Share of app fraud refunded. The data shows that a proportion of total app fraud losses that were reimbursed, losses that were reimbursed out of 14 firms, higher figure is better. So you can see why they're trying to force me to do it online because it's all based on this shit. Yeah, app fraud center per million, blah blah blah. App fraud and receive millions of transactions, smaller UK banks and payment for app fraud center, that independent service, quality survey results, and blah blah blah. So find the branch. Right, find the branch. How do you find that? Travel guide. So financial abuse. What is that? What is financial abuse? Let's have a look at that. Financial abuse, also referred to as economic abuse, can take a variety of different forms. It might be financial control, exploitation, or sabotage. It can happen in a range of different relationships with partners, family members, or carers. Financial abuse could happen to anyone. If you are affected by financial abuse, we can offer support to help you regain control of your finances. What could it look like? You are someone may be affected by financial abuse. Here are some questions which might help you recognize it. As your partner, family, or carer, or a friend asks you for account for everything you spend, insist you give them your income from a salary or benefit, stop you from having access to your bank account and inside their name be added to your account, force you to take out credit agreements for products that they then use, for example, car finance, force you to put out all the household bills in your name, and stop you from going to work, college, or university, cash your pension or other checks without your permission, stop you from spending on essentials. So this particular bit, yeah, force you to take out agreement for a product that you use, for example, car finance or mobile, yeah. And finance people, I need to get onto them. I need to go to the ombudsman about that. I need to go to the ombudsman about that finance company. I need to stop you from going to work, school, or college. Um, force you to put household bills in your name. So when I was living in Gorton, Manchester City Council, the council tax, they made me liable for it. I was going to college for half of it, and then I started with what's it called, London School of Business and Finance. So let me go and find that as well. What's it called, LD and Finance, London School. Well, what happened to me there is student finance did not pay me until the January. They didn't pay me until January, so I went all the way to from September all the way to January without being paid. And then what happened? What happened to me then? After that was what happened? Yeah, they said that they lost all my work. So it got to like December before you had the Christmas break. And they're like, oh, they can't find any of my work. I was like, what do you mean? So this little blonde woman with her blue eyes. I was like, what do you mean you can't find any of my work? She's like, yeah, you got to do it all over, or you can't finish the course. I was like, are you mad? I was so upset. I was so angry. Like, obviously, I didn't say you are mad, innit? I just can't think of the way I would have said it at the time, innit? But I was quite upset, innit? So she was like, oh, wait, if you don't do it over, if you don't do all the work over, you can't finish the course, basically, because you're going to be behind and you're going to miss the marks. All that marks and grade will not be anything. So I thought, I ain't going back there, you mad. Thought I'm an idiot. I'm saying they can't win what they're trying to do here. Like, I have no worries about sat here waiting on them. I'm daring them. I'm literally sat here daring them every day to come and knock that door. Bro. I'm literally provoking them to come and knock that door. Literally. So MSS in finance program, SPG, Shining Crowder drop market. So London School of Finance, ACS courses. School of Finance, LSBC, Canada, Singapore, Business Management degree, London School of Business and Finance, MSc, blah blah blah. So I don't know why this won't find the Manchester one. So I can literally Google where it was, innit? I know exactly where it was. They can't play any games there. So I go on image. Yeah, Finley House, innit? This one, innit? Yeah, so it's right between where you used to have right on Finger Road, where you used to have the Chinese buffet, and it's right in between that little side road there, innit? Um, so they have different ones I guess all over the country, innit? But Manchester one in particular, I'm looking for. So I don't know why they don't have a better picture of that. But that's what they did to me, innit? Saying that they lost my work. And I was like, why do you lose my work only? You get me, innit? And she was like, well, you can't finish the course because you won't get the grade anyway. You'd have to do all that work over, plus come and do the work for the new semester. Plus, you even receive your fucking student finance. So I owed rent, I owed fucking all of this stuff while she's coming to. So you can see that they've been doing this for this whole psychological thing for ages. Look. You know what I mean? So if I'm on drugs, who wouldn't be? You know what I mean? Who fucking wouldn't be? That's what it was in that place called Finley House. Innit? Yeah, it's right in between. You have that little road right on Portland Street. It's across from that new buffet now, where the Chinese buffet used to be to the right. That little side road and uh, obviously view website, visit site. So I'll go and visit site see if it comes up with it. So yeah, this is it. Innit? So see what year it was, 2013. Yeah. So I was just walking through town and I saw these people in it. So I went over there and obviously I went over there and it was like, oh, it's stuff like about uni. Innit? It was a business management course. And I said to them, well, I haven't got any formal education like that. And so I told them what I had. And they were like, oh, just go and speak to them. And I spoke to the woman. They're like, well, they can put you on like this course. Now you basically do that course and then you move on to the actual business and finance thing. And obviously at some point you move on to some degree. I don't know if it was there or somewhere else, but that's how they said it worked. And yo, so obviously this was 2013. So I went there this September. I did not get paid that £2,000 until the January 2014. And 4 months later, yeah. So this is how it worked out, yeah. I'm glad that they had these fucking the like Manchester Evening News had the date, time, and everything when they posted it, yeah. So what happened there was I met them, started the September. I obviously applied before the September for my finger. This was Garden. I was living in Garden at this time. I was sharing the house with this guy that worked for the NHS. That's what he said. To be honest, I've never seen him go to work at the NHS. Really, have never seen it myself. But it's not. Why would you question a man where he's going? Innit? Obviously, I'm not a man's mother or his girl, innit? Like, so I'm not questioning a man. That's what he said, innit? And what happened was, yeah, like I said, I applied for the finance and stuff. I think I came off benefits at the time. Yeah, no. I was going to college. So when I signed up for this, I was going to Stockport College. Yeah. And so obviously I wanted to stop. I was doing a BTEC course in graphic design at Stockport College. And then I thought I'd just go from college, Stockport, into that, innit? So I passed the BTEC course and I think I got a B or some shit. Can't remember how the score and I got them certificates some in graphic design and all that. And there was some next thing, I think it was IT, yeah, some sort of IT course it was at that Stockport College. So then I went from there, yeah, I passed them two stuff, like it was nonsense. Went from there now, started the September. They didn't release the money. Yeah, so September, October, I haven't got the money. Yeah. I had these two particular girl around me, you know. And obviously this girl that I met from Stockport College. So I met two of them from Stockport College. I met one of them around the community, yeah. They were just merely friends, innit? Yeah, one of them things got closer with one. The other two were just friends. One of them friends knew the situation from where back when from. They don't know that well. I had a partner, blah blah blah. We were just friends, and the other one I met at college as well. The other one that I met at college as well. Something started out out of that. That's the one that I said bought me the Art of War book and the balaclava. The other one like used to like play these like little weird mind games, innit? So like I'd wherever she just always pop up anywhere I'm in Stockport. She would pop up and like walk towards me and like I look away. By the time I turn around, she's gone. But like, I used to notice that, and I thought, this guy likes to play games. You get me? I knew it right away. I clocked on, like, she's like that, and one of them games players, isn't it? So I just thought, alright, she wants to play cat and mouse, whatever. And then, I mean, but I didn't clock on that it was going to lead to a bigger situation. But I should have clocked on them. But so anyway, that whole book thing. That other girl, she's the one who started, the one that I'm saying was playing mind games from the start. She was the one who was playing mind games. She's the one that ended up setting up the situation about me smoking Stardog. It's not her that's doing it. It's the people that I guess she works for. I don't know if she's a police officer herself. I don't know what the fuck the bitch is. Um, she's either a police officer herself or she's working for somebody else. But she clearly came with her intent from the very start and to play mind games. Mm. So anyway, went into started uni. My last payment. I think I can't remember. I got my last payment for the rent. I didn't pay the last payment because I thought, well, I'll wait till student finance comes in, and that should cover my rent for in 3 months, whatever. And yeah, so that's how I ended up. That's how I was going back and forth to college and that. So I was spending my money. I swear I had to go and ask for money from. I either took out like one of them £100 loans or I went to the job centre or something. I can't remember. I even asked Delta. I don't know how. Yeah, but I stretched that money, that rent money that I didn't pay to them. Yeah, thinking that I should have been paid. Them fuckers didn't pay me till January, the next fucking year. Bro. So imagine going to there. Yeah, imagine going to. You say you're going to uni. Yeah, because I never used to beg them girls nothing. But like they'd be lying if they said that they would gave me more than £20. Yeah, I've known most of them 5 years. And if each of them have ever given me more than £50 over a period of 5 years, they're fucking lying, blood. They get me in. Yeah. So obviously, I realize what these people have tried to set up in it. They try to make out like I'm abusing these girls and I'm scamming them and I'm this and I'm that. Like, obviously, that's why these pussies they can't show their face in it. You know what I mean? Uh, it don't matter to me how much of them it is because that's what they try to do. In the end, they try to intimidate in it. You know what I mean? They try to intimidate man into silence innit? And by like popping up in the numbers, but the way they do it in public places, and you know what I mean, where pure CCTV cameras are, innit? So it would look like I attacked them in it. I mean, I'm no fool. You know what I mean, it's been on to you man for time, but anyway, it got to the October now. I phoned up the student finance. They're like, oh, they're still waiting to hear back from the university. So I said, what do you mean? They said like they're still trying to confirm your place at the university. I said, all right, fine. I said, well, obviously I'm struggling now, rah, rah, rah. Yeah. Back to November now. Still waiting because I swear you're supposed to get your payment before the year starts or the first week. I don't know how it actually meant to work because obviously I didn't get the proper procedure. Yeah. So I don't actually know when you meant to get paid, but I'm sure you meant you'd at least get paid in September, either before the course starts. So you don't have that issue weighing over your head. Yeah. So got to November and I rang them again. They're still saying the same thing. Got to like the first week of December at some point. They're like, oh, the woman I turned up to college like the morning. She's like, oh, you're always late. I was like, yo, I've got life issues and I've got problems, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah, obviously, I don't know this woman. I ain't going into too deep with her. Innit? And she was like, oh, well, you missed a couple of days. I was like, yeah, I've got issues in it. Obviously, I don't want to tell this woman that I ain't got no money. You know what I mean? Because what's she gonna say? Why you not claim student finance? I thought about it right away. I'm thinking I ain't gonna say nothing because if the student finance people can't confirm this after 3 months, I ain't gonna say it to you because it already got to this point. Why can't they confirm it? I obviously didn't know the severity or the nature of the problem I was facing, but I weren't going to be the one to make her any wiser. I just said I had issues in it. You know what I mean? So a couple of days passed, went back. I think because I went on the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I had like 2 days off or something like that. So I went back like the next week on the Wednesday. I missed the Monday. I definitely remember I missed that Monday, and I went back on the Tuesday. Yo, in Garden, I didn't have no heating. Couldn't put the heating on. Obviously, them times it's cold, didn't it? You know what I mean? Couldn't put the heating on. I'd have to be sat in my house in thermal fucking what do you call them things there? Them thermal under stuff in. I can't remember what they call them. You know what I mean? I'd have to have one of them one, two t-shirts, fucking a hoodie, and then them big puffy hoodies with like the wool lining, the fleecing underneath it, and then I have to have like this big parka jacket on. Yeah, that's how I used to be sat in my house, blood, because the guy that I was living in the house with, everything was fine, blood, until it led up to that summer. Before, yeah, everything was okay until it led up to that point, innit? And when it led up to me that summer, everything seemed fine. Like he just started moving strange, innit? He got this girlfriend, and he's obviously his girlfriend is of this nationality, innit? And I don't even know, like he got his girlfriend and just got weird, innit? Like I can't even tell. I wasn't paying him that much mind, but he just started moving different. And well, he started moving different now. And that I had this other guy who's a soldier. Anyway, so what this guy I'm saying moving different. He worked for the NHS. The other guy, he's a soldier, and so obviously we're all Jamaicans, as far as I'm aware. But what I didn't realize is that these men were obviously indoctrinated, or one for a better phrase, they went to school here, so they have a different mentality to mine, innit? So certain things I just say thinking, oh, we're all Jamaicans, so they'll understand and not taking out of context. Boy, was I wrong? It's completely wrong. They took whatever they was going on with them. Anyway, so my man, like certain letters would, certain situations would come. I would go in the backyard, yeah, and see him burning like letters. So I was like, yo, what letter are you burning, bro? Because obviously two of us live in the house, two of us names on there, yeah. Seeing him burning letters. So I thought that's weird, isn't it? So I said, yo, what letter is that? He's like, oh no, it's just his letter, innit? He just wants to burn it. So he made up some excuse, and I was looking at it, I think that's strange, isn't it? Like, so obviously now I know what he's burning. No, I get what he was burning. He was burning them fucking council tax letters and stuff. Because like I caught him like 2 times doing it. Obviously, I don't know what it is, so it's not like I can create an argument out of it. Because in the back garden in Gorton, it's just like a solid wall, innit? Like the wall is slightly taller than me or the same height. So nobody could see from outside what he was doing. It was painted white and had like concrete flooring at the time. So it was like I caught him twice. One day I just came home and I saw him in the back burning letter during the summer. And another time I woke up and saw him out there doing it. So it was like, yo, twice I said to him, what are you burning, bro? He's like, letters, man. I was like, why you keep burning letters? Man? He's laughing like, it's nothing, man. It's just personal letters. And so I was like, cool, whatever. We just started acting weird. His girlfriend would come around and she would come and my man would lock up in that room with her for like 3-4 days. Though. I mean, like, trust me, 3-4 days. And I'm looking at the guy. Obviously, the other guy would come around. Yeah, the other guy would come around. The one that's a soldier and the other wannabe. And these two other guys, I didn't know them. They were Jamaicans as well. But they were them man's friend, innit? The man would come in that house like with all this like like acting like they're into the Bible and they're Christians and that. So I just sit there and I'll play along because that's what they're all doing. So fuck it, I'll play along. Innit? But at the time, I didn't suspect anything. I must be honest. I didn't know them man like that. I just assumed they were like that. So that summer, that in particular summer, I think my man had a kid in it. I think so, yeah. I think his kid was born. Innit? But this guy that was registered to live at that house with, he had one room, I had my own room, blah blah blah. My man was just locked up in his house, innit? In the room with his partner. Obviously, it's not my business, but I'm saying now when you think back at it, you realize it was a red flag, innit? Because he wouldn't come and sit down with her in the living room with like me or whether I'm there by myself or whether other people are there. He wouldn't just come in there innit, and do that like that. And obviously, I'm a guy like that, innit? Like when my associates came around, we'd all just sit there, innit? Like, you get me? I ain't got nothing to hide like that, innit? Like, so at the time, I did find it a bit suspicious, innit? That he was just gonna lock up in there like for days, but like I just only hear his door open and close back, and that's it for days. But like, he just passed me like, yeah, you alright? I was like, yeah, you alright. So I started to take notice of him and thinking like, why is this guy moving like he's got an issue with me? You get me in? Because that's what it started to feel like in the end, didn't it? Now, obviously, I'm not a bitch like that. I don't care about a man like that. You get me in it. If he's got a problem, he doesn't want to say. But I could clearly tell that something was wrong in it. Yeah, and him and her would just lock up. She'd come into the house. She's like, "Oh, you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. You?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, boom. That's it. Don't see her for another 3, 4 days." But I'm lucky if I even hear not any one of them taking a piss. But and my room was obviously beside theirs. So I did start to notice, and I said the burning of the letters, all these things were just weird, didn't it? So it was like one day, like I bought this computer, innit? So I brought this computer and brought it home. Like I'm just like that, innit? Like I share with anybody that's around me, innit? Obviously, I did notice it was weird, but I allowed my man to use the computer and that. So I came home and I saw him watching all these conspiracies about like, oh, Muslims and ISIS and Revelation and the end of the world and all this sort of thing. Innit? So I was like, what is that? He's like, oh, this is he watches things like this sometime when he's alone, innit? So I was like, oh, that's sick, innit? So I started watching him, and so it's like, obviously it's interesting, innit? Because it's not like I don't read the Bible, and obviously the way other people talk about it, it's different, innit? So I'm just sat there looking at all of them and watching these things. So I started to get sucked into it, and started watching it all the time because I mean, like, I didn't watch TV, so I just watched pure YouTube and that. Innit? But he was the one who introduced it to me, and I got sucked into it deep, like proper deep. Started watching it all the time because it's just another way to see things in it and listen out to them. Started learning about fucking experiments that were done on people and Masons and the CIA and all sort of shit. Well, I didn't at the time. If I'm being honest with myself, I never took notice that way. There's nothing that ever came up about the British. Like there was never no association to any sort of British thing. It was something to do with America or Muslim people. It's always them two. And at the time, you're not gonna really pay attention to that, and like that way, nothing ever about the British ever comes up. It's always something about Muslim people and not race wars, and what's it called, religious wars or something to do with some American conspiracy. But I'm just watching this thing in it. So what I'd realized now is like he just started moving, shading, and that's when the whole letter burning thing started. That's actually when I bought that computer. That computer went missing, and to this day I don't know where that computer went. It didn't go missing from that house. It went missing from what's that road called? From some flat I had in Leamington. Yeah, but that's a whole different story. So it went missing from there, innit? But he was the one who introduced it to me, and after I introduced it to me, he just started acting like proper weird, innit? Like I said, they'll come in the house, they'll just say hello, and then I don't know, a vibe just developed out of nowhere, and he was like, "Oh, he can't sit at home every day and play FIFA like me." So I looked at him. I looked at him. I thought, "Wow, you okay?" Like, that's what he said to me. He's like, "Oh, he can't sit at home and play FIFA every day like me," and hence why you see me still playing FIFA every day to this day. Because I looked at that statement and I thought, wait. So it's like you definitely have something against me, innit? Yeah, and obviously now I realize what it was because the whole situation with the uni, the rent, all of that, yeah, and whatever was going on, which obviously has been whatever this is now, it's been going on from them time. All of that became it was like the September part now, innit? Like So he started moving shady. So obviously, in September, it's not. He's still wearing like t-shirts, but it gets cold at the night time and that. So like I said, like, it's just these weird things, innit? And I started to feel like my room was being searched, innit? And I'm thinking like, yo, I didn't leave that here, innit? But anyway, like I met these girls from like college. I met this one mixed race thing from college. She weren't my type. I just to say that, innit? But her friends, her friends was okay, and one bunch of them, all of them were mixed race, but all of them got pure mixed race got, but every type of mixed race you can think about. Trust me, they were there. You get me? We had every shade of them. And you're talking about Baskin Robbins. You get me? Every shade of mixed race you can think about, they had one of them were there, innit? So obviously, I met them in college. I brought them man along in the whole summer. We spent going to Stockport. You get me? The whole fucking summer. We went to Stockport every day, or if not every day, every other day. We're all fucking, freshening up and hitting the road and going on to Stockport. Them girls had like some flat in Stockport, and we'd just be there in that flat, fucking around and whatnot, innit? So I'd take them all with me, innit? Because I'm not a selfish guy like that, innit? Like, what am I gonna do with 19 gal? But they get me, innit? Obviously, they weren't 19 gal, but you get the reference. I'm not just gonna go there and sit down with a bunch of girls and not invite them, innit? So I'd invite them all the time till everybody got to know everybody until they started speaking to them outside my knowledge and blah blah blah. So this is what I think set the vibe off, innit? So two of them came to stay at the gaff or at the house. He didn't tell me that they were coming. They didn't tell me either. Yeah. So that particular day, I just woke up. I couldn't be asked like I don't know. I can't remember what went on, but all my clothes and shit was all over the bed, innit? So I saw him cleaning up and that, and I thought, why is this guy cleaning up with it? Right? I mean, like, usually I'm the cleaning up one. But I saw him cleaning up and all of this, all of this, all of this, all of this. I didn't really pay attention. Like I said, I'm not watching a man. I just, notice, innit? You know what I mean? So I did notice. The next minute, like 5 minutes later, I brush my teeth, go downstairs. I thought I'd fucking sort my clothes out in a minute. I had like all my clothes all over the bed. I think I must have washed them in it. Yeah, it was that. So I woke up, brushed my teeth, blah blah blah. Gone downstairs, not even had a shower. My man cleaned his room, cleaned up downstairs, had a shower. Yeah, changed his clothes. And I thought, oh, my man must have a girl coming in. And I thought at the end, my man must have a girl coming. Obviously, I'm not one of them type of guys that's going to. Yeah, like you get if you know, innit? I'm just not one of them type of guys. So I just thought he had a girl coming, so I just brushed my teeth and I kept it normal, innit? But next minute I saw the door knocking, and he's like, "Yo," and I heard the voices. I thought, wait. So I said nothing. I just waited to see who popped in, and everyone started, "Yo, you're right, Colin." So I looked at him and I thought, yo, I looked at him and I thought, and I said, I said nothing in it, and I realized I was set up there. You get me in. So we're all there, like obviously, I'm pissed off in it because I'm thinking like, no way you done that, yeah. You knew them gal was coming. They didn't contact me either. But at the end of the day, me and this guy are meant to be friends, innit? Like them are just gal, innit? Whatever, innit? None of them told me, innit? So what you man are doing here is nothing new, you get me, innit? I ain't never asked them, and I will never ask no, innit? But anyway, I don't give a shit. So anyway, they came into the house and everyone's there. I'm just silent and you get me because obviously now I don't trust none of them, you get me in it. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, I assumed he was trying to get onto one of them in particular. So I started to make sense of it and assume that, well, he invited the one that he's getting onto and them long just tagged along, innit? That's how I looked at it, innit? You know what I mean? So something strange happened. I won't say what happened, but when that happened, I realized that, oh, they set me up. to make it look like, oh, I'm not cleaning my room and not taking care of myself and blah blah blah. Like I say, my man, my man just started moving out like swiftly after that. You get me? Innit? Like literally after that situation with the girl, he just started sneaking and shit outside the house. Innit? I mean, because it's like a week. He weren't there for like a week, innit? And so yo, I knocked on his door because I'm thinking like, I wake up in the morning, do what I'm doing, come back, I don't hear him. I come back, I don't hear him. I leave for, I'll do what I'm doing, come back, I don't hear him. I'm thinking like, yo, so I knocked his door, I didn't hear nothing. I'm not hearing no music, no telly from his room, nothing for like a week. So I knocked the door, every day knock the door. I still not hearing nothing. I thought it must be out. For like a week now, I'm thinking like, yo, fuck it, I opened this door, innit? Looked inside and I'm thinking like, half of his stuff's missing. So I said nothing on that, innit? I didn't ring him or nothing. But I realized he's sneakily moving out. Alright, that's all cool. Whatever. He came back and he came back in like these camouflage pants. Like these military pants. I'm looking at him, but I'm thinking like, yo, alright. The other soldier guy was there as well, innit? So the other soldier guy just stood there, not saying nothing. And me and my man got in an argument. I can't remember the exact words in it, but me and my man got in an argument. And he's going up the stairs and he started saying some stuff in it. So I went and leaned up at the side of the fucking at the sink, innit? So he's on the stairs talking. I'm at the sink. The soldier guy is there, and he's not. The soldier guy not saying nothing. He's just dead silent, innit? So obviously now I'm thinking that they were recording what was being said, and that's how I'm looking at the situation there, innit? Yeah. And I just found it weird that he was in the military pants because I've never seen him wear that before. Never seen him wear something like that before. And at the time, I knew like that was like the one. I can't remember. I can't remember how long I knew. I knew him for a minute though. I've never seen him wear them before. So he just came back that day and decided to take all his stuff. And he was like, whatever. And so remember, this was after he burnt all them letters. Blah blah blah. I just started getting these massive amount of debt letters, bro. Like literally, like give it a week or two, just pure debt letters, bro. I'm thinking, like, yo, what's going on there? So obviously, I'm still not being paid by the university as it or the student finance at that point. I'm still not being paid by them at that point. Innit? So obviously, I'm under pressure there. Innit? Like I said, it got to the Christmas, it was freezing in there. I didn't want to ask Delta for any money. I guess everybody knows why. So I just sit in that cold by myself and that, innit? You get me? Innit? Obviously, there was no one to ask for, there was no one to turn to. You know, I was just out there soldiering it out on my ones, innit? You get me? Innit? I locked up in that house, dude, and played my FIFA, watched my TV. But at the time, I didn't have internet at that house, I don't think. I don't think I got internet till maybe 2014, somewhere around there, I mean, I can't remember. So I was sat there fucking, you know what I mean, just toughing it out, innit? I used to go to the Asda, like, I used to go to Asda, like, fucking, because it was a 24 Asda, I used to go to the Asda, like, 1, 2 in the morning, bro. You know what I mean? Because, like, it was dead empty. So obviously, like, I weren't in the mood, like, I was trying to avoid anybody that I know, you get me, innit? Because, yo, I just weren't in that frame of mind to be like, you know what I mean, chatting and laughing with people. When I go to the university, I act like everything is normal, but obviously behind closed door, it was fucked up, innit? So like I said, be freezing in that house, but I'll be sat in that house in like 2, 3 coats and fucking big jacket and freezing in that bitch, bro. They get me, innit? I mean, I said nothing to nobody. I toughed it out, innit? And obviously, you can see that's the theme of the whole situation with me. I ain't saying nothing, but I'm just toughing it out, innit? It is what it is, you get me, innit? So obviously, now I realize what has been going on secretly behind closed doors, innit? Like, these police officers that have been having surveillance cameras inside my house, innit? And obviously, I'm saying they're the one that did that with the student finance, and they fucked up the uni stuff. They fucked up the student finance money, and to cover themselves in that situation, I assume that they would have said, "Oh, I'm some sort of I've got some sort of addiction. That's why I'm sat in the house in the cold with no fucking heating and no nothing in the house because he spent all his money off on some addiction." I only am assuming only people would know what the truth is there and what was said about that situation. Well, I'm saying that is what was going on. I didn't have a reason to come out publicly and say what was going on there because the nature of me, innit? But now looking back at it, it makes sense, innit? So yeah, like I said, he started burning them letters. Then all that started going on. He got to the December now. The woman's like, "Oh, you have to do all the work over again, or you can't. There's no point finishing the course." I thought, "Fuck it, I ain't finishing that course." Innit? So I stayed up until the December, obviously before the Christmas break or whatever you want to call it, and I got paid some point in January. You know what I mean? And I just never went back there. I thought, fuck it, I was in like, I owed them rent people like however much amount of money. Never got into the thousands, innit? Because between September, October, November, I mean December, January, it weren't like in the thousands, innit? So while I'm in there, the floor on the bath. So after he moved out, the boiler ended up breaking down. So he moved out. I'm saying the chain of events, the letter burning, the issue with the girls that he brought around, the letter burning, the whole idea with him introducing me to. Oh yeah, I would have had internet at that time. Then yeah, the issue with that computer when he started to introduce me to all that stuff about world ending and revelation and blah blah blah. So you can see that somebody was trying to create like a mental picture there, in a picture of somebody who's paranoid and on drugs, and you know what I mean. You can see that sort of tactic being deployed there. Innit? I don't think they thought I remembered all of that. Yeah. So, like I say, he started burning the letters, and I can assume now that he was burning the council tax letters. Because, like I say, I started to get these letters from the council, um, saying that I owe them money. I was like, I can't owe you money anyway, because if you're full time in school, you're not liable. So at the time, I didn't know that. Innit? So obviously, I'm phoning these people, and they're giving me the runaround. Mm. I'm phoning these people, they're giving me the runaround. I said, well, why is the debt letter just in my name? I said, two people were living there, and I said, well, they chose to come after me because they can only find me. I was like, look, what do you mean can only find me? So obviously, it got to a point now, I just stopped answering the phone, started avoiding them. I just let the letters pile up there, innit? I'm thinking like, I don't know what to do there. I'm not telling anybody what is going on. I just sucked it up and dealt with it. So, like I say, you could see the chain of events there, and it ended up. Um, like we got to 2014 now. I was like, yeah, actually, I went to this place called Mustard Tree. It's like some charity shop, and I bought like one of them old time flat screen, plasma flat screens that had the big speaker attached to it. And when I bought it, they delivered it, and I couldn't turn it on. I was like, yo, I phoned them. I was like, where's the remote? They're like, oh, somebody stole the remote. I was like, what do you mean? So why you bring the telly? Why never just give me back my money if somebody stole the fucking remote, innit? So again, that's these police guys that's doing that. Because they didn't want that telly in there because it goes against the narrative, innit? So they said that some one of their employees must have stole the remote. So they end up bringing back the telly in. Yeah. Got paid now in the January. Universal shit got fucked up. Because I weren't going to do that again. You know what I mean? Because I did what I needed to do. That ain't happened to nobody else there. You get me, only me. But I weren't meant to know that, innit? Yeah. So the issues, these bugger, because what they were doing, I assume, was setting up the debts. So you would owe rent. Now you're having these debt letters from the council. Guess what? As soon as you that money is paid to you for a university, they take it all back to them stuff in it. I mean, so I said to them, yeah, I said to them, he's the one that's actually working. I'm going to uni or whatever you want to call it, innit? At the time I said school, I didn't say uni. I said I'm going to school. But he's the one that's actually working, so why are you man targeting me? So at the time I didn't know nothing about what's it called? Um, liability orders. I never knew nothing about them things. There was no one to tell or no one to say because I didn't bring it up to anybody. So it's not like I had anybody I could have brought it up to anyway. So I didn't know nothing about that. And if I had known that, I would have known that well they had to have gone to court with it. And then that would have made me aware that so they brought it to court. He burnt the letters to make sure I didn't see them court summons to say, well, you got to come to court and say why you not paid. So he fucking either went to the courts himself and say it's not him, he paid this and paid that. And then him and the system obviously tried to work against me, innit? But it only come and worked against them in the end, innit? They fucked up, innit? Didn't it? But anyway, I got my student fines. I didn't go back to college because it was pointless. Level of stress I was under, the issue, all of them stuff, like, you know what I mean? I weren't even eating properly and that. I was eating pure like nuggets and fries every night, but I was talking like them oven chips and nuggets, and obviously I'm not a child, innit? So I weren't eating properly, all this debt, blah blah blah. It was madness, innit? I mean, but tough to I got paid. I went to B&M Bargains and I bought a fucking telly for 259.99. Yeah, 259.99. So I was making jokes with the teller. I said, why you people didn't just say 260 quid in it instead of the 1p? Innit? You get I mean, so I was making jokes with the woman anyway. She was laughing anyway. She was entertaining, blah, blah, blah. I jumped in a taxi, brought the telly back home. And I mean, like, that was after all of what took place there. That's the only little niceness I had in it. I had to do something, but I had to, yeah, you get me, yeah. I just had to do something. Anyway, I bought the telly. And I stretched that money as long as I could because when I went to the job center, they were basically saying that something about the uni money that you can't claim job center money and the uni money and blah 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 blah. But I mean, so I had to stretch that money, so I certainly couldn't be taking drugs in because I had to stretch that money to pay that rent. In the end, it got to like the next summer. Um, I ended up claiming benefits after the school year finished. Ended up claiming benefits. Then all of a sudden, the fucking roof started falling in. Like under the bath, I was sat there right where my computer was. The roof just started leaking one day, so I phoned up the people. I can't remember what they're called now. They're like, oh, they'll come out and fix it. A month later, they still haven't come and fix it. Then they started saying, oh, you're not paid the rent. It's not this, you're not that. I was like, I paid the rent. They're like, well, you owed rent from that point, that point, that point. I'm like, no. I don't. Obviously, I didn't know how to check that up. You know what I mean? And in the end, I moved out of that place in December 2014. I just packed up and fucked off and didn't pay them, innit? Because I didn't have a bath blood. I couldn't go in that bath because literally the whole fucking roof caved in from underneath the bath, innit? Like the whole wood, everything, you could literally see it sogging in it. So I wasn't going in that bath for that whole thing to fucking drop through with me in there, innit? You know what I mean? So I ended up moving out and not paying the rent. I took that rent and paid my first month and deposit with that in it. I'm fucked off, blood. So like, I've been waiting for them people to track me down for such a long time. I've been waiting on them, but they haven't. I know I only found out this way why they haven't. Because Manchester magistrate granted the council a liability order for so much council tax. And I was like, well, how did it get to this point? Because the magistrate's court, yeah, and the council together, yeah. If you think about it like this, if I had went to that summons, I would have said, well, I'm going uni, I'm not responsible for it. So I had no reason not to turn up to obviously that summons because I assume that's how I live liability order is granted, I assume you go to the council, you go to the magistrate court, the council argues their shit, you argues yours. If you don't turn up, they get a default decision, the order is granted against you. So I didn't have any reason not to go there because I would have said, well, technically, I've been going college and then I started uni. So for at least 2 years, I wasn't responsible for that council tax, not even a fucking penny, according to the law. So you can see why that letter was burnt. And I don't think my man is that intelligent to come up with that himself. I certainly think it was the government who did that, and he's clearly a rat in it. I mean, so clearly a snake. So when you look at it from that point of view, all of this that's going on now is not nothing to do with any girls. It had nothing to do with no girl. This is the government 100%, because nobody would know that technicality but the government, because they would have known. Well, he turns up to that courtroom. All he has to say is going to uni or whatever, whatever. Because the judge or so whoever in there is going to ask, well, what do you do for a living? You know, say, oh, I went to college this year, blah blah blah. I started uni, blah blah blah. They would say, well, you're not exactly responsible for it. So fuck off then, innit? Then guess what? No liability order granted against me. And the liability order goes solely on that guy. That guy got away. He burnt the letters. The liability order did not have his name on it. Between 2015 again, I moved into the new house. They granted the same liability order again, same way under the same technique. You get me? What was said to me about a tenancy is that the council tax is included. I just have to pay the bills. Cool. I was missold because they set the same thing up again, because they were trying to cover their backs to make it look like, oh, it's a theme, innit? Like he's known for not paying his council tax because I guess he's watching all this crazy stuff and it's telling him that he doesn't have to pay council tax, and he fucking believes. I assume now. At the time, I had no idea. You obviously see I was under pressure. And anyway, I took some of that money and did my driving lessons, got my license. I didn't just blow that money, that little £2,000 I got in it. You know what I mean? I took some of it, driving lessons and all that, because I started my driving lessons with Gorton and that. And then I didn't know there was another liability offer granted against me from Levenju until fucking this year at some point. So for the last 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. We're looking at about 7 years. The fucking council would have is probably out there hunting me down saying I owe them money. I mean, so I guess it was all a part of their tactic to eliminate me, to say, oh, he's running from his debts. I mean, that's why he keeps moving from house to house. He's hiding from the debts, and you know what I mean, at some point he was meant to be found dead in it. So that story when I'm saying about that flat and the house, you know what I mean, that story in it, that's what I'm saying. I'm now connecting it to that story because that's why I even brought it up, because oh, you drank too much alcohol, you can't bear it anymore. You leap off some building top in it. That's why I brought that story up, because it's now painting a picture, isn't it? No, definitely painting a picture. But you can see like some strange things are going on. And nobody wants to explain exactly what went on. The government certainly don't want to explain it. I've got onto the council. They don't seem to know how I got these liability orders. The people I speak to, at least, they say no, the system was changed in 2017. After they got these liability orders granted, the system apparently, this is what I was told by some council worker, apparently they changed the whole system, and that they've got to go to these special people that would have dealt with the system before, and for them to check up on my shit. And I thought that's convenient. So it's obviously, I obviously know it's the government behind it. And I obviously know why they can't do anything about what I'm saying. It's because they'll blatantly lose. Because who can argue with that I guess that pattern? We could argue with it. You know what I mean? Mm. Like I say, that soldier guy is there. He's always there, innit, the whole time. Innit? Everything that's went going on there, he was always there. From the arguments in God, he even, far as I'm concerned, he was going to that same place as me, and both me and him signed up for it. We were in different classes, so I don't really know his situation. We had different schedules and that, but every now and again I see him while he's there, innit? So you can see they tried to line me up. Like, mm, mm. They did try to line me up, innit? That lineup was crooked. I don't appreciate that. I'm scared of you pussies. Man. But anyway, so you can see why this is now a concern. Man. So help and support your money banking with us, Ukraine refugees. So if I go on that, banking with us, let's see what it comes up with. Financial abuse and all that. Banking near me, over the phone or video. Over the phone banking service calls, telephone banking from home. All the ways you can bank with us. So I'll go on that all the way you can bank with us. Down and up, help with banking, financial ways to bank. I'm just looking for how you sign up with this shit, you get me? They're not always on bank whenever we're not always on telephone video. So register for online banking, get started with the app, learn about telephone banking. So app village customers age 11 and 5 years and UK online banking, video banking card. Oh. We're here to help you bank from home. Want to help us in a bank? Trust your bank. Download the app banking hubs. No, not West Branch near you. Visit us banking home, mobile banking, post office banking. Not really increase your services, branch banking. Paying cash rate, health checks and talk to a member of team for digital banking. What do you need to know about finances? How to open bank bank account, yeah. How to open bank account, I see what it comes up with. You can find answer banking from a view your change the details, help with your product, your card, banking, I mean. Yeah. Cora can help you with a wide range of queries, show you. Training can you use my debit card, travel insurance, what is Rasta money. How do I sign up for NOTVOLUNTEERED Rasta money? What is biometric? Why I am biometric? Fuck yeah. So I've got bank account, everyday bank account, student bank account, channel team bank account, manager bank account, manager want apply for overdraft, manager overdraft, mobile and log into that measure, switch your account source, compare bank account, what do I need to open a bank account, yeah. Documents do I need? Documents accepted in branch, proof of identity. So I said I knew that the white was a continent, I knew it was a snake. So trust me, I'm gonna keep going back to them little bastards. I'm gonna start recording them pussies in that bank because it says document accepted in branch. Yeah, so select the options below to take a look at different documents. ID, student, address, blah 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 blah. If you are new to the UK RMC, you need to know your UK address before applying and enter during your application. Once you've applied, we'll ask for a proof of that, which we'll need to verify before we open your account. Working in the UK, international student asylum seeker, open an active bank account online. I don't want to do that. If you've got a proof of your answer and proof of registered document, you can apply for a bank account online today. Take a look at the accounts we offer. No fee monthly, blah blah blah. Reward account, student account, child and that. So it's basically saying you can fucking go and apply in the what's it called? Yeah. So it says you can do it online for convenience, or you can go into the bank. So I don't know why that little white boy is telling me nonsense. So I'm gonna pressure that not with bank. Trust me, I'm not. Definitely, I will do that. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna finish there. I can't be after like 6. So what is that? Yeah. So some unknown person signed in September, 22nd of September this year. I have no idea who that is. I have not left Manchester since 2019. I went to the Signet Hospital at some point when they did an involuntary psychiatric hold against me, obviously me against my will. So all this shit about mental illness is done because obviously I know what they're trying to do and they're trying to cover it up as delusions, but they can't seem to prove where how they came about their diagnosis. Sully Hill, oh fuck where Sully Hill is. So these man here, say equipment, surveillance, blah blah blah. These men they are a part of the stitch up. So British Royal Family BRF. So like Brexit, BR stands for British Royal Exit. When you put it together, BR and exit, you get Brexit. Them man. Other shit now. Some I think that's the terms and conditions for Xbox. Me trying to find a number to contact them, but I can never seem to get in contact with them. We don't have to ask why. Stress test, you know what I mean, like crash test dummies, cars, that sort of shit. Financial rules, you know what I mean, da da da. Latency, them they attacking me through lag, malicious communications, various forms of various forms of abuse, um, how they not only they try to set me up to look mentally mad, then all of these things is as a result. Yeah, this whole thing, the anti-cholinergic effects, you look like a fucking mad person. That's what it basically means. All this shit, vomiting, nausea. So you secretly writing reports. So you'd see me sometimes. I get these cold shivers down my spine. It's been happening to me for since I was quite young actually, and I didn't know why. And it makes sense what it is because they've been fucking medicating me all my life, and I didn't know. I'm always tired. Like I said, she was like, "Why you're not turning up to college?" Jobs are saying, "Why you're not turning up to your job?" When I do turn up, you're not on time. Can't sleep at night. Always feeling tired. You see me 1 minute, I'm skinny. 1 minute, I'm put on weight. Obviously, weight gain and metabolic issues, same thing. Sometimes I look pale. Sometimes I alright. All this. Insomnia, headaches, nausea, vomiting, all that, all that. So this is it: dry mouth, throat, eyes, and skin. Guess what? If you see somebody walking around with fucking dry mouth, it's like cotton mouth. You get them little white shit at this corner of your mouth. You're constantly, your eyes look red. Your skin's all fucked up. You know what I mean? You look like you're ill, innit? You know what I mean? Always, you either can't shitting too much, pissing too much. Always tired and sleepy. So you can't hold a proper conversation because you can't follow what the person is saying. You know what I mean? Anyway, you see light, the light, or like increased heart rate, body temperature. If your heart rate is too high for too long, it will make you fatigued. So all that, yeah, all they like I said, they try to blame it on mental health and some sort of I had assume drug or addiction, blame shifting. So shadow banning is basically it just means you're being hacked by some content. I mean, so what is this now? Ostracism. So there's spread rumors about malicious rumors. They did it to Tesla. They did it to quite a few people. Obviously, they're above suspicion because nobody's just going to automatically assume that people are doing that. So containment, guess what? They put everybody around you that they want to around you. It's not about them dominating you. It's ensuring that they create a wall around you, and the only information that get out to the public about you is what they let out to the public because people see you around them all the time. People assume that you and these people are friends and companions and even colleagues, and only what they say about you gets out, not you say gets out. Suspect, sarcasm, what is this now? Torture, ketamine. Like I say they can drug you under that circumstances. They can drug you, and you won't know that you're being drugged. They can overdose you. They can spread rumors. Oh, he's an addict of some sort. You ain't never touched a fucking bag of cocaine in your fucking life. They're going around telling you you're addicted to all sort of shit. Then what? They are now trying to give you antipsychotic medicine, and then you just mix the antipsychotic medicine with ketamine, with coke, anything. Your heart attack, dead in it. And then what's the police gonna say? Is the police gonna look into it? Well, no, they that did it. You know what I mean? That's it. It's as simple as that. They give you, like you say, the side. If you look at the side, what is it? Side effects. If you look at the side effects of that, yeah, all of this look like addiction. People get nauseated from addiction, or come down, or they're too high. People vomit as a result. Headaches. They can't sleep properly. Properly. It messes with the fucking I guess bladder and all that shit. They're having the shakes, you know what I mean? They're having the shakes, you get me, innit? It looks just the same. You won't be able to tell the difference between somebody and actual drugs, like to a hardcore level. Because you see more drug addicts when they're high, they're sleeping it, you know what I mean? They're asleep, drowsiness. You know what I mean? The next minute they can't when they need a fix. They can't sleep, they're always running around pacing, anxious, anxiety. Yes, man. It looks just the same. You get me? Yeah. Weight gain. I mean, high blood pressure, low blood pressure. Guess what? They're always falling over, dizzy. You know what I mean? I don't know about that. I really don't know about that part. And like, guess what? The visual effects. The mouth corners all that. The skin's all fucked up. You know what I mean? Every minute they're in the corner pissing. That's why the whole place smells of piss. Because guess what? It's fucking with their system. They're tired, drowsy, you're talking, you're slow, don't know what you're saying, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they can't go, and it's too bright out, they don't go out there and they hide from it. I mean, it's crazy, but and all they have to do is mix your antipsychotic medicine with drugs because they're already telling people that you're on drugs and people believe it. And they're already saying you're an addict. Even though them people have never seen you do it, it's like, oh, he does it in secret. He doesn't want anybody to know that he does it. And they make out like you're living some double secret life. And these guys, I don't like these guys, but like, I don't rate that. But personally, he did it to me, so I take it personal. So it doesn't even matter if I rate it or not. I have to take revenge against you, man. There's nothing you man can do to stop that. But I'm putting a fucking bullet in my face, and it's the other way around, isn't it? So tell the government, tell the world that, oh, you lot think I've got a gun. How's that gonna help you, man? How did all of that what you man did there help you, man? Because if it weren't you, man, then go and find the people that did this the crime. Because would I have used that gun without that all that being done? I don't think so. Anyway, lock it up there. Suck your mother.